Okay, so if you weren't here, if you didn't catch it, I'm sure pretty much everyone did, but I confronted Doomer on J-Stalks the other night after I ended my last stream. J-Stalk basically said on stream like something to the effect of, "Oh, I thought Kuihman was going to come on and question me about Doomer. I thought that was my content for tonight." So I was like, "All right, go on." So I jumped on. I was like, "Okay, we can have a conversation where I confront J-Stalk on the sweeping allegations. We can hash this disagreement between our two chats out. It'll be good fun." So I go on. I'm expecting that to be all that happens. I thought Doomer was gonna have the self-control to just shut the fuck up for 20 minutes. But no, I go on. And within about 20 seconds of us talking about it, J-Stalk's like, "Oh, well, Doomer's messaging me. I think he's gonna come on." So Doomer came on. Doomer spoke the fuck out. He thought he could win. He thought he could coast. He thought he could bank this entire interaction on just dismissing me based on who I was and leaning entirely on pre-established DGG narratives to essentially fill in the blanks for his story. He puts down this crazy... I thought I was about to get blindsided in this conversation several times, actually. Because what Doomer does is he is a disgusting, pathetic individual. And he has to, every single time, overstate the amount of evidence he's got and the amount of information he's got. Every single time. It's insufferable. So he comes into the conversation and he's acting like, "Well, do you know the context of those messages?" There's no extra context. Literally, we press him like there's no extra context that changes it in any way. There's nothing important. But he acts like there's just something obvious that you've missed. That he's just got this obvious thing that he's just going to reveal. And it's going to be so clear. And it never happens. It never comes. And it happens again, mid-conversation. I thought for a second, I was like, okay, I got to take a step back. I got to make sure I get blindsided of something here. Because he goes, "Sunday threatened my employer." And I'm like, well, I don't know what the fuck Sunday's done. Listen, Sunday can veer a bit close to the line for my taste on occasion. So, you know, I don't know what the fuck Sunday's done. I'm not going to co-sign anything Sunday's done. So I'm like, "Oh, Doom, can you show us that?" What's the threat to his employer? It's Sunday saying something like, it was in a YouTube chat, and he says, "Oh, I wonder what people are going to think of Willie Mac hiring a scammer to write videos about a scammer." So we'll show this tweet quickly. We'll show this tweet. It's from Matt Pitt. Okay, so now Doomer Media is claiming at present Sunday is threatening to go after his employer. That employer is Willie Mac Show. Willie is a commentator. Sunday going after him would be nothing, lol. He can deal with it. This isn't a big deal, Doomer Media. Calm the fuck down. And this set Doomer off something fucking fierce. He's been absolutely... This is what got Erudite involved. They're just so desperate. It's like it literally entirely leaning on the Sunday bad DGG narrative. Don't you know that Destiny's blacklisted him? Don't you know that Sunday's blacklisted? Destiny is the strongest, the bravest boy to ever live. And even he runs away from Sunday. So everyone should be scared of Sunday, because clearly he's just so insane. Destiny, the reason on the blacklist, the reason for Sunday's blacklisting is not quote unquote doxing not so erudite. It's not making Pisco look gay. It's not bending Doomer Media over and raping him. It's unhinged beard and hair comments. That's the reason. Unhinged beard and hair comments. It's because Sunday keeps going after Destiny for his beard shedding. Which is like, yeah, I get blacklisting Sunday for that. Honest to God. And the fact Destiny says that, the fact Destiny just straight up says that, it's like, I get it, man. If my fucking beard was shedding like that and some guy was just like obsessively pointing it out, yeah, fuck off. Honest to God, respect to just fucking saying it. Just saying, yeah, I don't like the fact you keep going after me for it. I'm not going to fucking be around someone who keeps going after me for that. Honestly, just say it. The thing I hate is when Destiny does the whole nothing gets to me. No, nothing gets to me, nothing gets to me. Let me invent a justification for why you're a bad person, apropos of something completely separate to my feelings being hurt. But no, this is totally... That makes sense. It makes sense to just say, he's going after my beard. Fuck him. Yet Doomer, in that conversation, and we'll play some of Sunday's review of it, I think. Doomer, in that conversation, tries to lean on the idea that Destiny has blacklisted Sunday as justification for why we should all be very scared of the evil Sunday who's coming after him and harassing him with messages like, wow, don't you seem like kind of a fucking hypocrite? Such threatening messages as, wow, this is kind of inconsistent. Huh, look at this hypocrisy. And we've got more to get into. We'll go over all the Twitter stuff. We'll go over Sunday's new leaks. Oh, well, not new leaks. He got a statement from String, I should say. I did read out a reference to the statement on stream on JStalks, but we've got a proper statement now.
All of y'all remember, because it was like a day ago, that I published a video hit piece on DoomerMedia. And I think we actually did a pretty damn good job. Doomer went really quiet that day, at least as far as I could see. Apparently he was melting down on Twitter, but didn't make an immediate response. And I was a little bit disappointed, because I'm not going to lie, like the fireworks from DoomerMedia is a big part of the joy of taking down someone like Doomer. So I cannot express the level of joy I felt when suddenly he popped on to JStalk. And you know what? I'm going to make myself small for this, because I just want you to be able to just experience the magic.
I haven't got away with it. Is that true?
I've been hearing this. I may have heard this.
Concerning reports have been arising in the last few hours.
God, kill me.
So have you seen the Sunday video? What's
Well, what do you mean? I literally watched it in your chat and talked to you about it.
I knew you were. I knew you were in chat.
I watched a little. I didn't watch all of it on your stream, but I watched a little bit of it. I don't know if there's new stuff there for me. Like, I think I was kind of aware of a lot of it.
But he was like straight up lying.
And he was, JStalk was sweeping for Doomer the last time he spoke. So he's just had his ass firmly handed to him. But I won't gloat. I'm a bigger man than that. I'm just noting, as a matter of fact, this is why he will not cover the video. Because it does not reflect well on him.
About the payment, right? Again and again.
Straight up lying in terms of that he'd done the work or whatever?
Yeah.
I think so you could say he's lying. Maybe he was. He definitely misspoke. It seems to be that he was prepaid for the work.
Yeah, well, he said it a lot.
Am I variable? I'll keep myself at a steady distance. I keep swinging into my mic when I move to adjust things, so I'm going to watch that. Thank you, Pippa.
And he kept saying, every DM leak that comes out exonerates me, and that just wasn't the case.
Yep. Looks not great.
So it feels like it was a deliberate... that he was deliberately trying to draw that distinction so that it didn't seem as though he was on the hook for any... on the hook to the company for any money. Because he was saying all work with the company was prepaid.
So I didn't see that. I know you were saying that. Your buddy Ryan, thank you for becoming a supporter in YouTube chat. Appreciate it. So I didn't see it as that he was trying to keep the pots separate. I know you were saying that. It didn't seem that way to me. I never got that impression. What I thought he was trying to do...
JStalk supported Doomer hard. You should see my audio.
Ulcerous Spiv super chatted $5. $5 from Ulcerous Spiv, Quihoy and Sunday Winning. Doomer crying in his cave since the last chat.
He would say, I don't owe that much money. Like, I don't think he wanted to pay back that much money. And I think he was probably convinced that that was true, that he'd done the work. And like, it's 2.5 years ago, he doesn't have access to the accounts to double check. I think he was fighting on that. Probably shouldn't have been fighting on it. But I think he said, wasn't there a message from you, or there was some message you showed on stream that basically had him saying that, right? Like, oh, I must have misremembered.
I didn't see a message from him saying he misremembered.
Oh, I thought there was a message specifically from you saying, oh, I might not have done that work. I thought you showed that on your stream. You didn't?
I don't recall seeing that. No.
Then I might be misremembering what because like, I literally was thinking, oh, it's interesting that Kuihman had that on his stream.
Okay,
and,
yeah. We're back.
Doomer might have.
We're back. Also, yeah, people mentioning the title here. Yeah, DoomerMedia dismantled by a little Jewish boy. How do Effie's get away? How does Sunday get away with this? He's by just referring to me as by the fact I'm Jewish. That's wild. All right, let's keep this playing.
Said that.
I
was pretty sure that was
saying that.
Am I crazy?
Let me check. 1 minute. Give me a second.
Because I could have sworn that happened, where like you had
let's see,
a post of him basically saying, "Oh, well, maybe I didn't." Oh, but yeah, Sunday might have said it too, and maybe you didn't catch that. I'm not totally sure, or I might just be hallucinating.
I think you're hallucinating. Right there.
I don't remember that.
Gotta lay off the sauce a little
at
bit.
all. There's a big long Doomer message, but in that he said, I was paid to do 1,802 payments for work I completed. I was only paid for things that were already done.
Yo, what the fuck happened to my mic there? Yo, what the fuck happened to his mic there?
I know that he said
that was on Sunday's end. That's on Sunday's end.
In your server, he said, I'm busy right now. Is there anything important in the video, or just Sunday getting really obsessed with the relevant details? So far, I saw him leak several things that proved my story correct, Lamau. So I haven't seen.
I saw him saying that too.
This actually takes skill.
Oh, Doomer's messaging me.
So goofy. Can you not just like chill for 5 minutes? I've seen it on Twitter as well. He's fighting with Matt Pitt right now. He'd be so happy to be going there. I'm making commentary content.
Oh my God, slow down. The boxes are coming too fast.
So much less toxic in politics.
I don't think that's what he was doing. I think it was commentary. You can do commentary from a positive lens, I assume. I don't know how successful
he was on Tom's stream the other day saying that. He was like, "Oh, I'm going to do watching drama content now."
Still not to scale. God, the camera keeps moving. You're making this difficult.
I think he's coming to argue, so we'll see.
The wrong thing. Shoot.
It was he.
Doomer? The guy we all know? Doomer?
I thought he left.
He did.
Well, take a look at the Discord, Kelly. Guess what? He's back.
Should have listened to me, buddy.
Oh, fuck it, let's multitask.
Hey, Kuihman, you want to explain how what you were just talking about makes me look worse? I'm wondering if you know the context at all.
Here we go.
What you said that you got paid for only work that was completed, and that's not true.
Yeah, how is that relevant in the context of the story?
Because it seems as though you were trying to draw a delineation between the pot of money that was for the start.
So I've like said nothing controversial yet. I took a moment because I was like, well, wait a second, is there something that I haven't seen? Because he came in saying, do you know the context for that? It's like, okay, so is there something I haven't seen? So I'm like ready to back off. And like be totally wrong. But he has nothing. He just comes in like super overconfident for no reason.
On video, and the pot of money that was for the work, so that you went on the hook to the company and only on the hook to string. That's why.
There is a delineation between those two things that doesn't disprove it at all.
Super chatted $9.99
when you said
$9.99 from Stafrex.
That was now for prepaid work for the show.
Okay, I said it was okay. The point was people were trying to claim that the payments for the show were also outstanding money. That's why Sunday was in here claiming I owed $5K.
No.
Oh yeah, Sunday sits it. He does the fake jumping Vosh head thing for way too long.
understand that that's not
No,
true.
the 5K was that people were not being accurate about the figures. It's actually 4.6K, and people hadn't like referred directly to the receipts initially, and they were being stupid.
Well, Destron, the thing is that it's not even just that he deleted everything, right? He never made an invoice. He never gave them invoices. So he made no record of having actually worked the hours. And as Sunday showed, there's now the claim currently from String is that basically Doomer was asked to do a specific project, the treatments and the draft, was told them it would take 40 hours. So that'd be 40 hours. It was going to be spread over a month. It was going to be done at the end. It took too long. And then Doomer asked for more money because he was running out of money. So they just re-upped it to try and get the project done. But there was no... But it took 2 payments for him to get that original piece of work done. And he never invoiced the hours. So it's like... What? So we're just supposed to believe you that actually this work was really good and... This is exactly what they wanted, and they're just lying now. Because that's what we have to do. We just have to believe him. It's just trust him. Even though all the evidence points in the opposite direction.
So for people who aren't following this, in my video, what I point out is that as a consequence of him attempting to leverage the work he was doing for the show...
Well, the thing is, he got paid before he worked the hours, right? But it's like... Obviously, while invoicing is, probably primarily for the customer, this is a great time where, Doomer being a fucking adult and having his shit together would have helped, right? Yeah, we'll go over Doomer's work, okay? I do want to go over Doomer's work. Because obviously, Doomer likes to... Doomer has a whole video about how Dave Chappelle's trans jokes are just not that fun. They're just not funny, guys. Dave Chappelle, his trans jokes are just not funny. They could be good. You could make good trans jokes, but Dave Chappelle just is not funny. But Doomer... All 3 of the draft treatments he wrote for this show are the exact same joke. It's just the deer joke. It's just the deer person joke. It's literally just dough, like 3 times. It's just jokes about dough 3 times. It's just like, haha, hunting season. Haha. You can tell when it was written. You can tell when it was written. You know it was written like that week where Destiny was mocking Doe's suicide attempt or whatever. And it just shows like what a fucking cocksucker Doomer Media is. Like actually, what a fucking cocksucker. He would actually be down on his knees glucking Destiny given any opportunity. Like, you go to write a comedy show, and the only ideas you can think of are, like, just essentially straw man characterizations of the people that Destiny's fighting with at the time. It's fucking ill. Like, you actually can't get your head out of that space. That is all you can think about. It's just, who does Dad hate? Who does Dad hate? Yeah, let's go after people Dad hates. It's fucking disgusting, man. Fatherless behavior. In fact, I can't. Maybe we'll do it now. Maybe I'll pull up the fucking 3 treatments now. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. This is fucking atrocious, dude. So this number 1, neighbor. The host and the co-host pick up the producer from under a bridge and hit a deer/moose person, Fred, on the way home. City setting. This leads to everyone being startled. A brief argument about whether they're a deer, person, or both. And then our host/producer leave versus co-host take care of them argument about whether to do anything about them. The co-host was driving and thus has the keys and wins the argument. This leads to everyone being startled. A brief... Okay. They're in the waiting room outside the vet, comparing Fred to their rival, another animal person. The host doesn't respect either. The producer dislikes Fred, but respects their rival. And the co-host respects Fred, but dislikes their rival. Fred gets out treatment and seems amazed at the concept of medicine, then violently resists leaving. Back at the house/studio, they start the show. Their rival got misgendered, brackets, called she/her instead of he/him because humans can't tell animal people apart. Jesus. Buying something from an adult pet store, then subsequently went on a rampage and wrecked the store. The host and co-host begin arguing about whether this was justified, and this devolves into a confused argument about the respectful manner in which to address a dear person. The producer gets Fred to come on the show and discuss it. Like this just assumes, I mean, I assume this is trying to target a wider audience and just Twitch roll, but this assumes that everyone finds esoteric arguments about the morality of niche hypotheticals to be entertaining, and they don't. There's a reason why only turbo autistic people flock to this shit. No, the string guy ain't bright either. No, 100% not. Producer gets Fred to come on the show and discuss it, which leads to an argument that reveals Fred is a blood relative of their rival. Then I can think of at least 4 different endings. Wow. Maybe you come up with one first, Doomer. Make one good ending first. And then come up with some alternate ones. 1A. Fred gets misgendered by the host, goes on a rampage and wrecks the studio. Why are people like this? So why you people like this? The host tries to retaliate and the co-host runs him over with her car to stop him. Okay. Yeah, exactly, right? Why does this guy think he's better than Dave Chappelle? How was this guy making videos about how Dave Chappelle's trans jokes are not funny when these are his trans jokes? These are your xenogender jokes. 1B. The rival shows up to get Fred, gets misgendered again, wrecks the studio. The host goes over to wreck the rival's house, gets the cops called on him, ends up in a similar situation as the rival. 1C. Fred secretly hates the rival, helps the host to plan revenge against them, which fails. Fred pretends to hate the rival and uses this to lure the host into a trap. Okay. Number 2. I love you, dear, / bang for your buck. In the studio, the host and co-host are covering an attempted hate crime. Haha. Where a man fails to kill his wife's deer/moose lover because he had birdshot in his shotgun instead of buckshot. This sounds like Hunter Avalon. The co-host is concerned about the infidelity. The host is concerned with the implications of fucking a deer person. Neither of them seem concerned with attempted murder. The host makes an insensitive remark about the deer person, which leads to an argument where the co-host defends them. Eventually reveals that they're dating a deer person. Brackets, Jake. Okay, the host clearly thinks this guy is stupid, but doesn't push him at it, and the co-host invites him to join them for dinner. At dinner, Jake shows up with his sister, an absolute smoke show doe named Ashley. Oh. Doomer, what are you doing, man? Doomer wrote this. 37-year-old man wrote this. Sorry, 35 at the time. 35 at the time. Yeah, this feels like furry confirmation. What do you mean by smoke show doe, Doomer? What do you mean by an absolute smoke show doe? What do you mean by that, Doomer? That's not how I would describe any animals. Personally, I wouldn't say that about no animals. That's not what I would say about animals, Doomer. An absolute smoke show doe named Ashley. Jesus. All of the host's bigotry falls away as he tries to mac on Ashley. who isn't interested, and the host attempts to flatter her only serve to disrupt the co-host relationship with Jake. Eventually, Jake and Ashley get too annoyed and leave, and then reveal they're getting back together, and apparently dated before. Jake makes a loving remark, and they leave. The co-host is disgusted, and the host retorts, "So that's where you draw the line? Ha ha. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. So that's when you draw the line? So that's when you draw the line? So that's where you draw the..." Get it? Get it? Stop sounding like Moss from the IT crowd. Very difficult. This is a variation on number 1, but the producer is the dear person. The host and the co-host hit the producer, brackets, a dear/moose person on the way home, city setting. Okay. This is just the same. Wait, so he copied? Dude, he didn't even write 3 full treatments. He didn't even write 3 full treatments. The fuck? The fuck? Come on, dude. This is just lazy. The host and the co-host have been arguing about whether this was justified, involving a confused argument about the respectful manner in which to address a dear person. The co-host gets the producer to come on the show and discuss it, which leads to an argument that devolves into the co-host/producer litigating the validity of the host's identity. Cuts of the host/co-host driving to drop the producer off where they hit him. It's revealed that the producer used to live at the pet store, which is now destroyed. With nowhere to live, the co-host volunteers at the host's house/studio as a temporary home. The host agrees. And then the producer announces he shit in the car. A 35-year-old man. 35 years of age he was at the time of writing. 35-year-old man, 35 years of age. Let's see what he looks like. Let's get his face up. Let's get the archetype. 35-year-old man.
Welcome everybody to an incredibly long video where I'm going to go over
Wrote this. 35 years of age. This guy. This guy here. This one. He looks like that. And he wrote that. This is appearance 100% potential, by the way. It's true. That is true. He's fully looks maxed here. I've got more Doomer content here if we want it. I do have also Twitch politics show notes. Could be interesting. This document is the beginning of the treatment process for a satirical Twitch politics show. Yeah, well, we'll definitely get to that. Yeah, we'll definitely look at the additional messages. Yeah. This document is the beginning of the treatment process for a satirical Twitch politics talk show. The goal is to begin hashing out the highest level concepts such as the format of the show, main character archetypes, and the elements of inspiration being taken from similar programs in the past. So, The Daily Show with Jon Stewart. Some of the format of The Daily Show will likely mesh well with this project, and some might be a little more questionable. The Daily Show revolved around responding to breaking news stories, speaking to correspondents, and having interviews with guests towards the end of the program. Jon Stewart. The success of The Daily Show was likely less a result of the format and more to the credit of Jon Stewart himself, a highly charismatic and entertaining person who occupied a position of authority with his audience. It's unclear how much this could translate to the show we're working on. Yeah, because you don't have anyone charismatic to carry it. First, to state the obvious, we're not going to find someone who is entertaining and charismatic as Jon Stewart. Indeed, The Daily Show couldn't even find someone who is remotely close to replace him. Second, it's unclear whether we want to be doing a show where the hosts hold a similar position of authority. Keemstar doesn't need authority to commentate on drama, and it may well be to his benefit that he is not seen as much of an authority on anything. Stewart's persona meshes perfectly with covering real news, but it wouldn't necessarily mesh well with a show that is primarily focused on drama and internet personalities. So how is it going to be satire and focused on drama and internet personalities? Like, where are you going to be like producing it week to week? You're going to be like animating this every week so that you've got fresh episodes that play on the latest dramas? Really? I don't think so, bro. I think go back to this was a terrible idea. This was a horrible idea. I don't want to read all this. This is fucking dog shit. This guy's retarded. This like is actually a retarded person. This is amazing. This is epic. I fucking love this. Jesus, this might be the most retarded thing I've ever read. Aside on monologues. One of the ideas we've discussed were potential monologues, sorry. And there's nowhere else to put this in this document, but I'd strongly advise against having monologues. Monologues are, brackets, in my opinion, an inherently bad format for comedy or communication. Whether it's on SNL or late night shows, or any other show really, monologues are usually, if not always, underwhelming. A good monologue would look something like a bit from stand-up, but the problem is that writing 10 minutes of good stand-up would probably take a month, whereas monologues need to be written in 1 or 2 days. This guy's like so stupid, man. The idea that monologues are an inherently bad format for comedy or communication. This is like one of the most unfathomably retarded statements. This is so dumb. This is so fucking stupid. Ninetales is showing some serious autism right now. The anti-comedy stance is being against monologues. It's not anything to do with Fuentes, you fucking numbnuts. He does say that it would look like stand-up here, but he says it would take a month to write. That sounds like a skill issue, Doomer. If this took you... what was this? This is like the work of... When the fuck was this... when was this handed in? Oh, someone wants me to link them the animated show proposal. One minute, I'm going to just send you both these files. You know what? You can also have... As I'm just so nice, and I'm just providing like all the information here. I'll also send you the finished product that got made about a year later, a year after Doomer left the project, that was not made by Doomer. There you go. There's everything. Wiz. Yeah, Doomer is just like he's got one of the worst cases of Dunning-Kruger I think I've ever seen. It's crazy. He thinks he is so fucking smart and so fucking talented, but he sucks. And it's shown here. He's got no idea what he's doing. Literally not even any idea what he's talking about. Like this monologue thing is literally, this is the video game take all over again. This is an entire medium through which to deliver a message is now written off because Doomer doesn't get it, because Doomer doesn't have an immediate appreciation for it. So he's just written off an entire medium, an entire mode of delivery. Like, he's such a fucking child. Why would you even put this in a treatment? Because obviously he says they've discussed monologues. So obviously someone else thought monologues were a good idea, and Doom was like, no, listen to me, no, listen to me. Stop monologuing. It's bad content. He's such a bitch, man. It's so crazy. Okay. Where did we get up to on this? Aside, having a meltdown in the treatment. Someone disagreed with him in a meeting 2 weeks ago, so he has to write an entire fucking section just seething about it. Oh, dude, imagine working with this guy. Imagine being engaged to this guy. Now you see how his life ended up where it is. A good monologue would look something like a bit from stand-up, but the problem is that writing 10 minutes of good stand-up will probably take a month, whereas a monologue needs to be written in like 1 or 2 days. As a result, almost without exception... Let's zoom in. I can't read shit. As a result, they almost, without exception, need to retread the same territory over and over again, and need to rely on weak jokes, as the time wasn't available to write good ones. The current late-night shows have an entire staff of writers, many of whom as their sole responsibility for writing jokes for the monologue, and these monologues are still usually bad. For reference, these people are writing hundreds of jokes a day. We are not an enormous studio with a staff of writers. We're not going to have 1 to 3 people working on this. So we're going to have 1 to 3 people working on this. A good monologue isn't going to happen every 2 weeks. It can't, and a bad monologue is far worse than nothing at all. Then compare the strength of a monologue to other content. Monologues are worse than guest interviews, worse than segments responding to the news, worse than character conversations, and worse than pretty much any other content I can conceive of the show having. Worse still, a monologue requires an area of authority and superiority that will likely be anathema to the show. A monologue is demanding to be taken seriously, and we don't want to be taken seriously. I could go on if needed, but for practical and artistic reasons, we should have a monologue. Thanks for coming from TED Talk. Okay. You're not... That's a nice save, bro, but you're still seething about an argument you had in a meeting weeks ago. Do we want to read this? World building and character archetypes. Why the fuck would this guy pay Doomer to write comedy? Amazing question. Amazing question. Great question. Seriously. He might be right that they don't have the skill to produce good monologues. That could be true. But the start was very retarded. He said monologues are an inherently bad form of communication. This reads as someone justifying their media studies degree. Well, he is like a rich kid, isn't he? He probably went to film school. I wouldn't be surprised. It was a temper tantrum. Because I said, yeah, put it in an email, bro. Put it in an email. I bet his wife said that to him. Doomer, honey, put it in an email. There are 3 distinct things to consider here: world building, characters, and character relationships. World building and character creation is often ignored by non-writers. Yeah, non-writers, they wouldn't get it. Okay, writers such as myself, expert, professional, paid writers such as myself, we understand how important world building and character creation is. You non-writers, just... You wouldn't get it. You wouldn't get it. Creatives get it. Artists, such as myself. Visionaries. Truth sayers. World building and character creation is often ignored by non-writers, but it's potentially the most important part of character design. Characters aren't people. They are symbols of people and character traits shared by all characters. And character traits shared by all characters are a kind of commentary on humanity / the world that can do a lot of the legwork while being almost invisible. Almost totally invisible. As an example, Woody Allen's characters are almost always sophisticated and intelligent in a posh sort of way. In Match Point, the protagonist is lower class, but is infiltrating upper class society and is always presented as at least attempting to be a member of the bourgeoisie in his persona. The world of a Woody Allen film is a world of material and cultural success, even if the characters ultimately fail to achieve their goals. This is one of the crucial aspects of world building that defines Allen's films, and it becomes very obvious when you contrast a Woody Allen comedy with It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. While each character in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia has their own quirks, almost all the characters are represented from the lens of the lower class and a rather pessimistic lens on humanity as a whole. Pretty much everyone is bad in their own way, incapable of accomplishing their goals, incapable of perceiving the world as it is, rude to those around them, etc. Even upper-class characters, like the lawyer, while presented as posh and respectable initially, are usually corrupted by the world around them over time. It's a world of physical and moral decay, perhaps best embodied by the degradation of Rickety Cricket. Well, great. Just put it in make your fucking It's Always Sunny video essay, bro. This is not actually helpful to your fucking comedy treatment, okay? Yes, we know It's Always Sunny is about a bunch of really shitty people going around doing dirty, shitty, scummy things. Yes, everyone knows that. It's so obvious. It's like you've just said that in more words. Go put it in a fucking video essay. Go make a gay video essay. This is not actually you doing work on a show. This is just you ranting about what you like about It's Always Sunny. This is so useless. So crazy. They let him get away with this too. That's crazy. That's crazy. This guy sucks. Jesus. And yeah, I will just fuck Doomer now, okay? We're full-blown fuck Doomer. Full-blown fuck Doomer, okay? I tried, so I interpreted everything so fairly. I sat here, I was on stream every day, justifying everything I thought. And then I go on stream, and he's watching none of it. He just cried about it. And he's just like, oh, you were saying crazy schizophrenic stuff about me. But no, it's nothing. It had no examples. Nothing. He's just like, oh, well, you're the anti-fan. You're like on the outside, so you probably said crazy stuff about me. Everyone should hate you now. Fuck you, bro. Fuck you. What a pussy. Stop! 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 Kuihman! 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 We'll see, Kuihman. So many good quotes. I could get so many dono alerts out of that. Probably the most important decisions of characterization we're having at this stage. What are we presenting as the world of Twitch politics? In a similar fashion to It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, it's probably best to exaggerate the weaknesses present in almost everyone, and assign these weaknesses in one degree or another to all characters present in the show. Even if we present strong characters, like, say, the producer, these characters will likely be trapped in a losing battle with the corrupting force of the world around them. Jesus Christ. Okay. If that's the choice we end up making, then there are some implications. We'd be less likely to want to cover real news. We'd want to stick to almost entirely to drama and the dark side, quote unquote, of Twitch politics. Yeah. Like people scamming people out of money for a show. Like that sort of drama. As well as the manufactured drama between the characters and the show itself. This would mean all characters present are bad in their own ways, but the world as a whole would also be presented as flawed in a consistent manner. What these shared characteristics are should be discussed, but one of them is likely to be egotism/narcissism. Pretty much everyone in Twitch politics loves the smell of their own farts. Okay. And for a mix of good and bad reasons. I mean, you're projecting here, dude. These people are not receptive to criticism. Yeah, you're projecting hard. You're projecting hard. Some characters may hide their egotism, the producer. One host may be more outwardly egotistical than the other, but it's probably something that should be present in everyone. There's some others we could discuss, but I'm curious to hear what traits you'd like to see present here, so I won't front-load all my ideas first. As for the specific character archetypes, I think an ideal setup would be 2 hosts, 2 to 3 correspondents, and a producer. We bounced around ideas of a Hassan-esque character. This guy's so brain-locked. Just DGG brain-locked. Hassan bad, Vosh bad, Hassan bad, Vosh bad, dear people bad. Yes, I watch Destiny, how could you tell? Yes, I watch Destiny, how could you tell? We batted around the idea of a Hassan-esque character, and that certainly seems like it would work, especially if it played as the heel to a face co-host. Face and heel are terms from wrestling that roughly refer to the good guy and bad guy, yep. More specifically, a heel character is designed to be hated, and a face character is designed to be inspiring or appreciated. Usually, there's a moral angle to this where the face is good and the heel is morally bad, but this element of the dynamic may not work for us. The Hassan character will be a narcissistic political streamer/personality and coward who thinks far too highly of themselves, far too uneducated and perhaps stupid to deserve their position, but who criticizes others for being too poorly educated or stupid for not always agreeing with them. They'd probably have a bit of a bro personality that they wear as a shield, so they can make sincere statements that end up being wrong. They can fall back on it, just being a joke bro, or acting exasperated that people are taking them seriously at all. This will be contrasted by some combination of the co-host, producer, and correspondents. The co-host will likely be far more morally righteous, educated, intelligent, and respectable. Okay, who's this? So you're writing your little Destiny insert. So you're like, we need a really cool, smart guy called Destiny. We need a really cool. We need a really cool, smart guy. We'll call him Fate. And he like owns the co-host all the time. He's like better than the co-host. He's like the cool one. He's like epic. But then the co-host is like he's bad. He's stupid. He's a stupid socialist. Enter Glizzy Overdrive. Intelligent, educated, sexy, respectable. Jesus Christ. We root for the co-host to eventually take over the show, and more broadly gain success in the space, which inevitably never happens, and if it does, it probably results from falling to the corruption lurking beneath the surface of the world we're building. The co-host's contrasting features magnify the weaknesses of the host, casting a spotlight on their wretchedness and stupidity, but the co-host has their own problems holds them back. Perhaps they're too self-conscious, too lazy, or too ideologically driven to realize their own goals. It's clear to the co-host exactly in what ways the host is flawed, but they aren't able to realize or correct their own flaws, which will sometimes allow the host to win the conversation, even though the host is the worst person. Whatever relationship the host and co-host have, it's best that it be a static and unchanging relationship for the foreseeable future. While the host is largely uninterested in moral questions, the co-host has the desire to be morally righteous, but is put into conflict when their desire to be good and successful don't point in the same direction. It's just like Destiny. It's just like Destiny. Oh man. The producer almost certainly has to be a character, as figures like Danabo are known to exist. We have to put Danabo in the show, guys. We have to put Danabo in it. Don't you guys remember Danabo? Who remembers Danabo? Strong personalities like Danabo. You know, the guy who did free labor for Dylan Burns for 2 years while his mother was rotting and he couldn't go see her because he refused to get a job and just garnered money on PayPal. Yeah, that one. Yeah. The one who worked for free for fucking 2 years. Fucking set up a show for free. And then goes around lecturing other people on success. Producers always suck. Facts. TPD. Straight TPD. Like, Danabo fucking sucks. Danabo sucks. Every time I've seen Danabo, he sucks. He always sucked. He was always lame. He was always gay. What was it he said? He was like going on about how Chud can barely afford pot noodles. Or some shit like that. Proto Sassafras, absolutely. Would naturally fit into the dynamic being built in the show. Similar to Moltar, this would likely be the most competent character on the show. But also the least celebrated and probably the most neurotic. Oh my god, wait, no way. Oh, Danabo's the real unsung hero, guys. Messaging people for panels. Messaging people. Being a go-between. Setting up people's Discords. Setting up people's Discord moderation settings for them. Oh, man. This is getting tiring. This is genuinely getting tiring. I'm losing. I'm losing it. Similar to Moltar, this will likely be the most competent character on the show, but also celebrating probably most neurotic. You could either make a character underappreciated Alan Moltar or Danabo. Go with Mr. Krabs angle, where the producer is actually quite greedy, secretly trying to profit off the show as much as possible. At the expense of the other characters involved. Either way, the producer would likely be incredibly stressed out at times and have a recurring gag of always relieving their stress during and after the show. Okay. This sucks, man. This really sucks. This is so tiring. As for correspondence, one good idea would be the stupid lieutenant, a sycophant of the host who is the only character less intelligent than they are. The sycophant would get sent out to try and prove the host's points on various issues, which would result in massive cope as their worldview is thwarted by reality. Another could be a former partner of the host or co-host, a particularly good character, who struggles with the corruption of the world around them, etc. Something worth noting is that all correspondence should clearly compare and contrast the host/co-host in a meaningful way. All characters in a story should be reflections of one another. If it's important that the protagonist is brave, then every other character likely needs to have actions along the bravery / cowardly axis as well. Okay. The bravery / cowardly axis. Show summary. The show is a satirical political talk show themed around Twitch politics with a tone similar to that of Space Ghost. A format reminiscent of The Daily Show, and with characters in a world similar to It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. The bulk of the content would be responding to Twitch politics current events in a similar fashion to The Daily Show, but without the air of authenticity and seriousness. Fuck me. I can't read tonight. Drama in the show would largely center around the control of the show itself between the host, co-host, producer, and correspondents. Guest interviews may be included, and if they are, they'd be in the second half of the show, runtime in the neighborhood of 10 to 15 minutes. Characters in the show exist as a condemnation of the darker side of Twitch politics, all exuding a certain level of egotism, stupidity, and lack of perspective. We open to the characters bickering between each other, satirically cover current events. The things we cover lead to banter / arguing between the characters, and from beginning to effect, the conflicts between them largely remain unresolved. Jesus. Guest interviews. Okay, I don't care. I'm done. Fuck me. Dude. This sucks. This is crazy. He got paid $2,800 for this. Wait, sorry. 2,600. No, 1,800. Fuck me, I can't remember the values. 2,800 for Hassan. 1,800 for this. Okay. I don't know exactly where all this stuff will go. Where were we in this? We might come back to this 7 minutes, but I do want to make sure we get just the latest message that President Sunday leaked. Well, it showed. The statement he showed. Where is it? Is it in here? I need the statement from String Puller. Because I think now's a good time to just check that, because it is, we're on the topic of the work. At some point in this. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Okay. So, at the end of the JStalk thing the other day, I read out a message from Sunday, basically saying that String had indicated that Doomer was not paid more money because the work was completed. He was paid more money because Doomer was running low on funds and asked for a re-up so that he could get the initial work that was initially set, that Doomer priced at 40, that Doomer estimated to be about 40 hours of work. He said that wasn't enough time and he needed more money and more time to finish the initial work. So this is what String says. Or Sunday asks, can I get a statement from you on the reason for the January payment? Just to be clear, January payment, let's just put all payments quickly, just so we're all perfectly clear on the facts here. Obviously, in September, we have the payment $2,800 for the Hassan video. November, they contract 40 hours of work at $20 an hour. And Doomer tells them this is, I believe, this is the amount he prices this and evaluates this as how long it's going to take him to do the initial set of work that is the entirety of the work he handed in. However, he then decides that wasn't enough time, that wasn't enough money. He re-ups in January and gets another 40 hours at $25 an hour, at least according to String's statement, which we will now read here. Doomer was paid in November to produce a treatment. He gave me an estimate to complete this work for approximately 40 hours or so. He then came back to me in December in a meeting and said he would need additional working hours to complete the original work. However, unlike many of my other contractors, since he never provided an invoice of his billable hours, I have no idea how he spent those hours. Contrary to Doomer's claim, he was not paid for work in January, paid in January for work delivered. He was paid despite work not delivered, because he requested additional hours to complete the original workload. So, while Doomer, in the conversation we had, wanted to make it sound as though the payments provided incontrovertible proof that Doomer had completed the work and was being rehired for more, String's side of the story is actually that Doomer double dipped. Doomer double dipped on the scam question mark. Doomer double dipped. He didn't just take one bit from it. He triple dipped. He went to, I'll take $2,800 for a Hassan video I'll never make. I'll take $800 for 40 hours work I won't do. Actually, you know what? Give me $1,800 for work I'll never do. Bro, really triple fucking dipped on this guy. Actually, you know, empty your wallet. Actually, open your wallet. Actually, open your wallet. Open your wallets, open your hearts. Open your wallets, open your hearts. Actually, just dump your wallet in front of me right now. How about that? Yo, can you give me the 3 digits on the back of that card real quick? You guys do company cards? So, listen, obviously we can't prove either way, but we've seen the work that he did. We've seen the work that he was doing. There's no way that took... What? November, December, January, February, and the start of March. He wants to claim at the start of March he worked as well. Now, obviously, his final hand-in was on the 18th of February. He didn't give anything in, to my understanding, past 18th of February. So it is actually only from the 1st of November until the 18th of February that he was actually working, as much as he wants to try and claim otherwise. He might have gone to a few meetings here and there. Might have been a few billable hours, so to speak. But it's delusion. He's delusional. He's delusional. It's crazy to pretend that you really put that much work into this. You did not. You're a lazy fuck. Such a lazy bastard. Can I write you a spec script for a project I think you'd love? I'll do it for half the price of this guy. Yeah, I'm making that same offer. If anyone wants to hire me for a treatment, half the price of this, okay? No, we should pay that much for 15 minutes of inspiration. It's not, but it's just like, it's not even 15 minutes. It's just like, what's r/Destiny saying about Doe today? Oh, that's funny. Get a fucking grip, dude. So embarrassing. So embarrassing. Anyway, let's watch a bit more of this, I guess. I'll let this run for a bit. I want to move on to other stuff, kinda.
The Hassan video, he has effectively made them part of the same.
Oh, we should do the tweets as well. Let me find all those.
Effectively, you could say that the Hassan video has now simply been transitioned into the show, right? Now, in order to justify that the claim that he had already paid back a portion of the Hassan video, Doomer says that after he had completed work on the show, he offered to do additional work for free to pay off his debt for the Hassan video that he didn't complete. The problem is that he didn't actually submit any work. Certainly not sufficient work after 2 days after he made that offer. And we also don't have a confirmation that the employer even, or the client even accepted that deal. So when he says, like, I already paid off a part of that work, and in this conversation with Philly, he's like, well, let's just say that's like $1,000. I'm really interested in the Hassan video. Doomer has taken that as license to say, well, they've agreed. I've worked $1,000 extra on the Hassan video, which means I only owe $1,800 in the Hassan video. No. There is no agreement to that effect. And moreover, not only is he trying to leverage work he hasn't done to invent credit that he can put towards the Hassan video, by doing this, he has made the debt on the Hassan video continuous with the debt on the show. Because, remember, even though he said he's not finishing the Hassan video, he still ghosted for 2 years. So what he ghosted on actually was work on the show that he was doing to pay off a debt for the Hassan video. Does that make sense? Let's continue.
All the money for the show was for work that I did complete.
You do not owe 5K. I understand that.
Okay. The only reason I was talking about this in the first place, and I did misremember something, but the misremembering makes me look better. Like the actual details of the story make me less of a scammer.
No, I don't think so.
Okay,
let me talk. I thought that I was paid for work after it was done. The relevant point was that the work I was
No, you didn't think you were paying for work. You didn't think you were paid for work after it was done. That's actually impossible. That's impossible, Doomer. Not only has this been a regular feature of your defenses, where you said, well, no, look, of course I was performing and doing the work up to this point because they wouldn't have paid me again otherwise. This is going to age well, by the way. We have the messages where you negotiate the time paid in advance. We have the receipts. You were paid on the 1st. It's impossible that you were confused about this.
Paid for the show got completed, and that I didn't scam them for that money. So you understand that's correct, right?
I think there is an argument about the nature of whether that was sufficient.
You understand that's correct, right? There actually isn't, Kuihman.
Just looking for all these tweets 1 minute.
Because they hired me again and paid me more. So there is confirmation it was an shut the fuck up. There is confirmation it was an hourly. There is confirmation it was an hourly rate. Shut the fuck up. There is confirmation it was an hourly rate. There is.
This is what I understand. Doomer was very slow to produce, but you know, he still had the original Vosh video as evidence that he could do work, and they seemed to hit it off pretty well. String and this Doomer guy got along very well, and you'll see, like, in a lot of the DMs, they're chatting about video games and TV and whatnot.
So yeah, Doomer was just like absolutely wilding basically over the last day or so. I took yesterday off, so I wasn't around for a lot of this. So Doomer says in some stream chat, I assume this is J-Stalks. At Matt Pitt, don't worry fam, about to go record a video. So the Dark Viper video was meant to be out of the weekend, never came out. At Doomer, if you want to call it a harassment campaign, so be it. I agree it's over the top. You could have done yourself a huge favor by not reacting the way you did for being held accountable finally. I actually reacted perfectly. I instantly took accountability and proposed a payment plan. Dude, he's so fucking retarded, isn't he? He thinks just saying shit makes it true. Learned that from Destiny. Just repeat that you're in the right and people will go along with it. Even Destiny actually does give a fucking reason. Even if people might disagree, it does try and give some kind of reason. This is just retarded. He banned you after that. Fuck Jay, stop giving that guy perms. I will campaign I will personally campaign for your unbanning, Xenodge. I will try and get you unbanned from the JSTLK YouTube chat. Purely for being a Doomer A-log. You've got to be kidding me. Matt Pitt was right. This dude is a massive fucking tard. So, I mean, this is just like, there's just multiple people, like, this is like just random commentary people just coming in now. Just looking at Doomer. No previous context and just going, wow, you're fucking retarded. Which is exactly what I said would happen on that stream. I told him this would happen if this fucking left. If this left the DGG audience, I knew he would fall on his face. Then we got this. Beckett saying he's going to fit right into Spurg tier. You're blocked. I'm also blocked by Doomer. Legit, but blocked by... you're blocking Beckett. You're blocking Becky. That's the point you're at? Really? Really? You're blocking Becky? And we've got this too. Matt Pitt quote tweeting, you're blocked. It's just so crazy that he spurged out so bad. And then just this, I cannot understand what happened here. So obviously going back to this quickly. This is what started it all, really. Was Matt Pitt posting this, the quote-unquote threat against Doomer's employer. And for some fucking reason, for some godforsaken reason, this idiot, these idiots, actually, the DGG Defense Squad, just desperately swarmed to try and control the fucking narrative here. It's like so wretched the way they behave. It's actually white blood cell behavior. Totally unrelated drama. Sunday's not going after anyone in real life. He's not going after anyone's employer. It wasn't even a threat to go after Willie Mack. It was just saying, what would people think of the hypocrisy in the writer of this content? He's doing nothing wrong. He made a hit piece. Yes. But one that was evidenced. He played clean. He did not fuck around. He did nothing wrong. He wasn't even close to the line this time. I won't say did nothing wrong, but he wasn't, like I say, he wasn't even close to the line. This wasn't even close to the line in terms of the life ruination, fucking with people stuff. This was totally fair fighting. This was classic, just internet drama, blood sports. Totally fair, in my opinion. But not to worry that regardless, decided that this was the time to insert herself yet again. Because Sunday's getting a brief moment of props or a brief moment of defense over something. Sunday was right once. So it's, well, actually, this guy tried to arm me. So what does Erudite say here? I'm not understanding how a character with a consistent pattern of targeting people personally, doxing, and actively lying to spread false information about people is ever someone to be dismissed. What? I'm not understanding how a character with a consistent pattern of targeting people personally, doxing, and actively lying to spread false information about people is ever someone to be... This makes no sense. This is gibberish. This is gibberish. This doesn't even make sense. No one's talking about not dismissing Sunday. You can dismiss Sunday if you want. People are just saying don't try and get someone banned over fair fighting. He doxed me and contacted my school under the false premise and false info to make it seem like my school opposed my credential claim. Okay. He doxed me. I don't believe this to be true. So it's difficult. Because it's true. It's I believe her identity was already linked. Because when she'd been on Destiny, when she'd been on panels, when she'd been everywhere, she had spoken about this program, Mental Help, that she was part of, that she helped make as part of some Canadian counselling project or something. Canadian therapy project. I don't know exactly what you'd call it. I don't know if it's counselling or therapy. I'm just saying something in that realm. It was this project called Mental Help where they were making videos on how to, manage your mental health, I guess. She had spoken about that at length. And on, all the materials for that, it had her full name. So it's like she had already, this is it would be like if Dr. K was just calling himself Dr. K. On a smaller scale, obviously. We're talking on a smaller scale because, Erudite is not the same size as Dr. K. I'll check that in a second, Sunday. Erudite is not the same size as Dr. K, but even if that were the case, even if that were the only linking, it's like if Dr. K was just going with Dr. K, and then you go on Healthy Gamer, and it says Alok Kanoja, He's like, oh yeah, I'm Dr. K. I work with Healthy Gamer. I'm a therapist. And then you go to it and it's like Alok Kanoja. And then someone calls him Alok Kanoja in a video. And he's like, you're doxing me. You're doxing me. It's like, no, not really. You were kind of public with a You were open and public with a project that you were your name was on. And you introduced yourself as Kyler on numerous occasions as well. Like a specific project you worked on that is public, that you've spoken about at length, and giving your first name. Like you're public at this point. So what's this?
To be clear, I'm not actually accusing him of doxing me. I do know, though, that he released a lot of information that was in no way related to his argument. He could have made all the same critiques without saying my last name 4 times, the city that my university is in 5 times.
Oh man, yes, I remember now. She said this back in her response, didn't she? It's interesting how the story's changed. Now that it's convenient. She literally says here, yeah.
To be clear, I'm not actually accusing him of doxing me. I do know, though, that he released a lot of information.
Yeah, and exactly, this is the other point Sunday makes as well. And I don't like bringing this up because it's fucking it falls on deaf ears online. But yeah, like Sunday's saying, you can dox someone who has credentials, but citing credentials is an invitation to verify. The point of having credentials is that there's something that you can verify and check to say, yes, this person has done these things. Yes, this person has the knowledge, the expertise, the training. That's the point. Like, you're supposed to check them. I just hate these fucking academics and professionals and fucking therapists and shit that get online and want all the benefits of their credentials, but with none of the drawbacks. Like, yeah, you're held to a higher standard. Yeah, people are going to check things. It doesn't mean it's okay to dox you. It doesn't mean that everything's permitted. But Erudite herself here says it was not doxing.
City, university, last name were not circulating. They were locatable. To be clear, I'm not actually accusing him of doxing me. I do know, though, that he released a lot of information that was in no way related to his argument. He could have made all the same critiques without saying my last name 4 times, the city that my university is in 5 times, or the name of my university 4 times. His argument would have been just as salient.
Yeah, exactly. But they claim, but they claim that Sunday is malicious. So, I mean, you can't just say that Sunday's not malicious. They won't accept that. It just isn't doxing. It's just fucking retarded, dude. He doxed me in contact my school on false premises. So, and then under false premises and false info to make it seem like my school opposed my credential claim. So, he did pretend to be her. He left out that she had some specific set of training, and Pisco believes this to be material to whether her claim to be a psychometrist or whatever is legitimate or not. I don't want to get into all of it. I fucking hate it. It's retarded. Thank you for the gift of membership, John Sanchez. Thank you. I don't want to get into because it's just so autistic. I don't even care. I don't even care. I don't even care if Erudite is a fraud. She could have no credentials. She could literally be lying about all of it. I don't care. I still hate her anyway. Like, totally separate to that, I mean. But listen, I hate the fact that they treat it as though the credential issue is a settled matter, and that Sunday is just incontrovertibly wrong, when that just does not seem to be. It is down to interpretation, and they're relying on a fact that they claim they have that they're not willing to show. Because basically, there's a letter that Erudite got from a supervisor in response to Sunday's video that says that if she has some other qualification for psychometry, she can call herself a psychometrist, or if she works in a field with a title that is psychometrist, she can call herself a psychometrist. Now, she claims at the time, she is now claiming that at the time she did have that job title, but is just not willing to evidence it because Sunday's already shown bad faith. That wasn't a claim that I knew of before. That wasn't something I'd heard claimed before. So I'm not sure about the validity of that. And I know people who have also been told that, who have not received corroboration for it. So I don't know what the deal is. I don't know what the deal is. It is. I personally think it is arguable whether Sunday's correct or not. I think there is room there. I don't think it's clear cut, but I don't have a firm position on it, and I don't care to have one. So I literally will not debate it with anyone ever. I debated it once with Pisco. You can go see that debate if you really want to. Pisco straight up lied to me, misrepresented the nature of that letter, and said that it rephrased it to make it sound much more clear cut than it actually was. And we found that out later on because Jay still got pressed on it by Sunday and realized that he'd been sold down the river a little bit. But anyway, he threatened Pisco as a lawyer because he's very upset with Pisco. I don't remember what exactly the threat was. It may be the case that Sunday did that. It was probably a implied threat, I imagine. Which obviously still bad. Still bad. I disavow. Listen, I'm not gonna fucking defend every action Sunday's taken here. I'm sure he's got his reasons and defenses for each thing. I don't really care to. I'm not invested in that. It's just my point here is more. It's just obvious what's going on here because I mean this is like her Erudite's claim to victimhood here. I think is the strongest one. But even then, she can't present it honestly. Like, doxing you, you literally said at the time that it wasn't doxing. I'm sure something happened with Pisco. Listen, I'm sure Sunday said something unhinged. You often get nasty with it. He threatened to report Avi. He said he would look into reporting him. Yes, that's true. He leaked DMs from Brianna Wu. See, and then this one, he leaked DMs. He leaked DMs. Oh my god. They weren't even DMs. Sunday wasn't even party to those DMs. They were leaked to him. There was no expectation of privacy on Sunday. Sunday had no commitment to not leak those DMs. He fucking hates almost everyone in those group chats. Why the fuck would he respect any of your fucking group chat privacy if he gets leaked DMs that show a contradiction with your public stances? Because Brianna Wu was much more pro non-binary publicly than she seemed to be in those messages, and that was the point, though. He has been obsessively posting about the Omni Liberal for years at this point. So, okay, so he doxed you. He tried to get two people's jobs taken away. Also, he leaked DMs and says mean things about Destiny. Like, look at the desperation here. Just padding. Just absolute padding to try and just turn people on Sunday because he's having a moment of protection from some bullshit reporting shit. It's so insane. They're trying to kill him. They're trying to kill him. I think Wu's a bit them skeptical, I believe. She's a bit of a transmed, as far as I understand. Nothing wrong with that, of course. Nothing wrong with that. These are the people I am personally aware of. I've heard other people be mentioned before, and it seems Sunday has a clear pattern to take things out of context, like morally condemn people about the lie, cry, bully, repeat. Okay. I mean, academic agent is the one that's being referred to there, and that's a very... I haven't seen hard evidence on that one. I've heard that SFO has hard evidence on Sunday getting academic agent fired explicitly. That he sends to people behind the scenes. That seems to be the implication that I've gotten from seeing streams where he's like, I'm going to send you something. Thank you for all the refreshing memberships, guys, by the way. So if SFO, if he ever sees this and wants to send me whatever proof there is that Sunday got academic agent fired, sure. But my understanding is academic agent got fired due to layoffs. There were redundancies at the university. That was my understanding. And he like had engaged in like crazy. Wasn't he making like Pinochet comments, like helicopter jokes about throwing socialists? Like, it's pretty wild for a professor. And I heard Sunday say he was threatening to sue students, threatening students with lawsuits who complained about it. Right. Yeah, so, I mean, listen. I don't know what the truth of any of that stuff is, but the academic agent stuff, there's a reason why Erudite's not going into it here. It's because it does not seem as clear-cut as many people want to present it. Say wacky shit in classes is one thing. Like, there's certain things that you can get away with in the context of an academic discussion, but posting it on social media is a whole other thing, right? See the goat? Most of the evidence in both directions is lost. I have scraps. Yeah, it's like so long ago. Like yes, I don't know what the truth of many of these claims are. And I'm not going to defend Sundays to death on fucking any of this. Like, I'm sure Sunday's done stuff that I would fucking disagree with. We're not. I do shit that Sunday would disagree with. We're not like. I'm not sitting here responding to this because I'm like, save Sunday. We are by no means totally aligned. I find the white blood cell behavior to be just sickening. Which it's just Doomer is not justified in his response to Sunday and is being incredibly dishonest. And the fact that you're using that, ignoring that, and just using it as an opportunity to be like, here's all the bad things Sunday's ever done is just fucking crazy. So there was more responses as well. Everyone jumped on this as well. Pisco is in the fucking trenches over it. Literally, like, he's doing his 100 tweet threads, fucking writing up essays to Jessica Pizzle. If you're writing an essay on Twitter to Jessica Pizzle, you've like lost. I'm sorry, you've lost. You've lost the plot. You're beyond help. It's over for you. You're NGMI. You are NGMI. Erudite probably doesn't even know the Doomer shit. She's just doing the Stardust thing. Possibly. I think Erudite follows drama more than she likes to pretend. So Willie Mac comes in, says, oh boy, what am I reading, Matt? Understandable response to seeing Doomer spurg the fuck out like this. Matt says, your boy was spiraling last night and thinks President Sunday's going to come after you, his employer. And we get a response from Willie Mac here. To be perfectly clear on my position, I have not seen any messages from Sunday. I have received some obvious comments from some audience members about this drama. That is okay. Doomer should pay back the money. As long as Sunday isn't going after his actual IRL employer, I don't care. Doomer did good work for me. Separate the art from the artist, all that shit. It's still my video after all, and when it's paid back, all of this will be forgotten. Yeah, when it's paid back, Doomer, all will be forgotten. When it's paid back. So none of that. Listen, Willie Mac saying, Big Dog saying, pay the money, Doomer. Pay the man back. So no more of that obstinate, Destiny told me I don't have to pay it back. Give the money back, Doomer. Where's the money, Doomer? Where's the money, Doomer? So we got, oh yeah, so Stylo was coming in. Reply to Erudite. Nobody doxed you, Pujiaka. Your Govy is literally on your website and you flaunted your credentials. Expect scrutiny when you hold yourself out as an expert. I mean, I think that's a pretty reasonable response. What on earth does Pujiaka mean? Just was doxed. You might not like that, but it is what it is.
All the same critiques without clear. I'm not actually accusing him of doxing me. Not circulating. They were locatable. To be clear, I'm not actually accusing him of doxing me. I do know, though, locatable. To be clear, I'm not actually accusing him of doxing me.
Okay. That's freaking epic. And I think the craziest part of this, right, is Sunday says to Nick, Big Nick, Erudite's husband, Sunday says to him, my channel will outlast your marriage. Very mean. Nick replies, want to put some money on it? They're trying to paint Sunday as this unhinged stalker, doxer, guy who's like a threat to their life and livelihood. And they are not just engaging with him, but setting up agreements that facilitate further contact and engagement, such as bets. You lose all sympathy. I do not take your fucking claims seriously if you start acting in this way. You do not get to act like this is a crazy stalker person if you're fighting with them constantly. And Nick replied, I said that to Nick. It replied to my tweet. I can show it for you. So I said, usually when you're trying to concern troll about someone being a stalker, you follow basic advice and don't engage. You definitely don't set up agreements like bets that encourage further contact. Hope this helps. Nick says, it's pretty obvious he's never going to stop. Good concern troll, though. They've never really disengaged for any significant period of time. They met through doing like debates and shit. They've always engaged back and forward. Erudite released a response video to his hit piece where she even said he didn't dox him. He didn't dox her. You've gone back and forward since then. Erudite got on a stream with him and argued with him and said, I have your docs, I have your docs to him. You've constantly been shit-flinging, going backwards and forwards. There's never been disengagement. There's never been an actual blanket, let's just ignore this guy. Of course the beef continues. Of course this guy keeps going after you. That doesn't mean that all tactics are justified. But if you're going to sit there and act like try and invoke, be like, oh, he's a crazed, schizophrenic who'll go after you in real life, acting like he's a fucking killer. You can't be having internet beefs with him. It's the same shit with fucking Hunter Avalon. Like, I don't have any fucking sympathy for you when you know this guy's a lunatic, and then you're like, debate me on the internet about how I stole your girlfriend. Like, fuck off, dude. Yeah, exactly. They just want they think it's easy dunks on the guys outside the tent. It's total white blood cell behavior. They're retconning this doxing shit as well is just wild to me. The fact that Erudite clearly stated, I say clearly stated, she said, to be clear, I'm not accusing him of doxing me. Clearly stated it wasn't doxing. And then we're retconning it now, saying, actually, no, it was doxing. Totally wild. No pussy for gay Nick. She absolutely doxed my location at my university. Tried to frame you and DK. How did she try and frame me and DK? I remember what happened in that situation. Nick came into a call with me, Stylo, and DK, and argued to us that a dox did belong to you, while you were arguing that a dox did not belong to you. So Nick was essentially trying to dox you to me, Stylo, and DK. People who they had accused, they had suggested were untrustworthy, with a bad reputation, that veers close to doxing. Nick invented a third party accusing DK of being the source of the dox in a DM to DK. Oh yes, he said that someone said that it was probably DK who doxed you. And Nick started questioning about it. And the source was never revealed. I would not even... Yeah, but I wouldn't even doubt that someone did say that. It was probably just like a Discord moderator or some shit, some fucking retard who hates us. I wouldn't even be surprised. So, I mean, it could be Nick made it up, it could be one of the moderators. Either way, that is the attitude that was held by those people towards DK and towards us. And yet they still came in and gave what they believed was a confirmed dox, or confirmed a dox, to me, DK, and Stylo, which is just like crazy behavior. When you think these people are like evil. Yeah, they want to act like they're totally clean. Like they've never done essentially the exact same shit that they're attacking Sunday for. To him. Like they've done it in response. You don't get to just lower yourself to everyone else's level.
Vent super chatted $5. $5 from Vent. There is a reason why NSC has a certificate and not a diploma. Not the smartest girl on the corner.
Thank you for the $5, Vent. I don't necessarily co-sign that message, but I certainly find it entertaining. Well, I mean, that's an argument, isn't it, agriculture? They did it because they think you're evil. They expect you to indiscriminately spread the info. I mean, well, I would argue negligence, personally, because I think Nick is genuinely possible. He might actually be retarded. He does stay with a woman who is constantly on live streams, shit-talking him and down-talking him, so there is a good chance that he is actually retarded. But a less charitable person than me might possibly interpret the actions of giving a dox to people that you think are evil doxers, or confirming a dox to people you think are evil doxers, the act of trying to do that you would actually be trying to hurt the person by doing that. That's it. A less charitable person than me might read it that way. Now, I'm not making that allegation. I'm not saying all that. But I wouldn't blame anyone for it. I like Nick because he gives Erudite so much bad press. He's a double agent, and I'm sure of it. DK, to his credit, actually went out of his way to protect my info. Changed my perception of him in a big way. Yeah, I mean, listen. We've all had our bumps in our relationships. It's why it's so crazy to me that I feel like even just by doing this segment where I'm like, hey, let's look at the actual facts of what happened in these dramas and see if the presentation really matches up with reality. By even doing that, I feel like I'm gonna be accused of like caping for President Sunday, like I'm just like desperately coping. But like, what reason do I have to do that, really? What fucking reason would I have to do that? I could sit here, I could totally sit here and just, it would be very easy for me to, it would be in my interest, in fact, to present President Sunday as this unhinged, schizophrenic, harassing lolcow, and to have been like that, because that's what I thought of him, especially, I would have agreed with him at one point, probably, back when the Chud drama happened. But that's just not how I've come to interpret the events. Obviously, he does certainly get his autistic crusades and goes after people in ways that do veer close to the line. That is true. But the presentations that they have of the way these things went down just do not line up with the reality. Do you want a pat on the back? It's not about getting a pat on the back, Kenny. It's about just stating clearly that, you know, this is not... I am not the one who is sitting here with a bias in my presentation. It's these people. It's the WBCs. And like I say, these reasons are not even any of the reason that Destiny's blacklisted the guy. It's not because of any of this. It's because Sunday keeps going after his hair and beard, which I think, again, fair enough, and I'm glad Destiny's honest about why it is. Because, like, what has Sunday done that Destiny doesn't fucking do? He just went after Candace Owens for her education, history, and financial background. He dug up all of Norm Finkelstein's lawsuits. He directed people at that girl on Twitter who said to throw an egg at him. There's loads of situations where Destiny's done stuff that veers close to the line. Yeah. Yeah, we're supposed to give infinite charitability. I'm brain locked. Charity. Charity is the word. Infinite charity to Big D, but none to anyone on the outside. A plan to kill a child. It's that one too. And it's like, I'm not even someone who thinks it's even like that bad. A lot of these things this is done. Like the Candace Owens stuff, I got why he did that. It was a little bit unhinged. I understood his point though. Candace Owens was using her personal experience as a black woman to back up a retarded point.
The Finkelstein one, I think, was a little bit less justified and just kind of seemed like he was lashing out after the Twitter clips went round. But there you go. It was still funny. It was still memes. Still content. He was exposing a racist. Too bad, apes. You're not sleeping tonight, apes. He's so real. So yeah, I think that's that. Is that all the coverage I want to do if this stuff happened on Twitter? I just think it's crazy. I just think the presentation is crazy. Have your issues with Sunday, that's fine. But inserting yourself into every fucking drama that he's in, even when he's right, to try and restate your inflated beefs with this guy is fucking embarrassing behavior. I don't think Sunday's done anything to get his YouTube banned, personally. And so the constant campaigning for it just feels fucked. And obviously neither did YouTube so far, because they haven't banned him. I'm sure you freaks have reported him. Let's watch a bit more of this.
So we'll learn exactly why. We'll get String's account as to why he paid.
We might watch this. I'm like 50-50. Should we watch the Smith versus Food Shop stuff or not? It's I think it might be okay. I think Smith tried to have an autism intervention. But I don't know if it's worth it. Because I think we have to watch her reaction to the fucking article as well, and that should be painful.
Again, later, but there is no evidence to suggest that the reason why Doomer was paid again in January. I'm going to pull up, just for the sake of clarity, I'm going to pull up the actual payments so you can see them. Receipts. There we go. Pardon me, horseman. So as you can see, let me center this a bit. So as you can see, in January, on January 4th, Doomer was paid $1,029 for 40 hours of work at $25 an hour. Now this obviously is inaccurate, given that 129 is not actually divisible by 25 cleanly. When we look here, on November 1st, he was paid $800. We have the messages that show him negotiating. For those hours in advance. Where String says, okay, how about a contract of 40 hours for November, then we assess for effort in pre-prod meeting at the end of the month and figure out how much more resources we need. So that would be about $800 for the month. Does that work? DoomerMedia says, sounds good, and he is paid, I think, 2 days later. So this was prepaid. There's no way in hell he doesn't know this is prepaid, because he would have received this literally just after negotiating for work. Now, his argument is that because he was paid again, that therefore he must have done the work here. This does not follow. For example, it could be that he was paid again because they were still counting on work that he hadn't completed, and he needed more money to keep going. Happens all the time, very common in contract work. So for example, I used to do landscaping, and it would happen not too frequently, but sometimes. You'd be like clearing a yard, or like doing something to it, and there'd be something you didn't anticipate, something you didn't see on your first, when you gave your first estimate. There's like a giant tarp in the middle of the yard, say. It's covered in rocks and stuff like that. You do it.
Jesus, Ninetale's been mad fucking annoying tonight, huh?
Leaves or something. And you realize it's going to take like a solid extra like 3 or 4 hours to move. You're going to have to pay workers during that time. So you go back to the client and you say, hey, look, this is a bigger job than I thought it was. We're going to have to like add a little bit to the price. And usually they will at that point because they've invested in the work you've done so far. So here's a possibility. What if say Doomer gives, they ask Doomer like, hey, how long do you think it'll take you to complete this? And he says, well, maybe, I don't know, 40 hours. Okay, 40 hours. 40 hours go by. We know he didn't invoice any of those hours, so a month goes by. And his productions are underwhelming, but he's still producing. Like, he's still working, he's still talking with them. There's something connecting. They're still under the impression that the completed work is forthcoming. And they want the completed work to still be forthcoming. So they talk to Doomer again at the end of, like around December, say. And they say, okay, what's it going to take to get this stuff out? And he says, well, I didn't send any invoices, but I did work all of my hours. It's a bit more of it's a bigger job than I anticipated it was going to be. I'm going to need like a bit more time, like maybe another 40 hours. And maybe because they're friends with him and they're taking him on faith, they think they're on the same team. They say, okay, sure. And maybe says, maybe can you like bump it a little bit? Yeah, sure, whatever. We're in the dark about who like pushed for the higher the raise, but for whatever reason they accept it. Okay. And then he disappears. Now we have no evidence that he finished the work from November, except what Doomer's proposing as evidence, which is the fact that he was paid again 2 months later. We also have certainly no evidence that he finished any of the work for January. None. We don't have invoices. We don't have no record of the hours he applied, and the documents that he produces in between January 4th and when he ghosted his client, they do not reasonably amount to 40 hours of work. Becca Krabs went over them earlier. They're pitiful. Like it's some of the worst stuff I've ever seen, and more importantly, it's sparse and lazy.
We went over it too. You guys know the context now. Isn't that crazy?
What he gave them as a treatment, quote unquote, was literally just like, well, we could do a show like Jon Stewart, and Jon Stewart's sort of like this, or we could do a show like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. That show kind of works like this, and it's like, so what he was paid thousands of dollars to produce at this point was a handful of very
Addy, calm it down on the tea phobia, please. Okay, respect the tea queens, please, Addy.
Describing his favorite talk shows, which is embarrassing. There were no scripts. There was no completed treatment. We only have the beginning of one. Like nothing was finished, nothing at all. But his argument is that because he was paid twice, he must have completed the first thing, which is of course belied by the fact that he didn't complete the Hassan video.
Yuki is your mod,
and yet nonetheless was paid in January for that as well. Like we know that him producing, him actually following through on what he's paid to do is not conditional on him getting paid at this point. There we go. But I digress.
It's confirmation. It was in a contract. You spent all day fucking lying about me and shitting on me.
Take it easy, man. I didn't lie about you at all. Take it easy.
I'm absolutely certain you did.
I'm 100% certain I did not. But we will.
Sunday, what do you think the chances are he paid taxes on any of this income? Very low. Because remember, a principal part of his defense is that he has he can't defend himself, so we have to go easy on him because he doesn't have any record of any of this. He couldn't contact his client because he deleted all of their messages. He made the emails and everything that he would have used to communicate with him inaccessible. So if he doesn't have any evidence of these payments, I don't know. Like, does he have the tax information for this? Like, presumably he could have at any point used PayPal itself.
Addy, you're wildin'. You're a whole
to continue like paying him back slowly over the course of the 2
What's
years
that mean?
he had vanished.
We'll see, Kuihman. We will see. Okay,
you
don't think I owe any of that money?
Hey, hold on. Just let Kuihman respond real quick.
Lied about what?
Yeah, exactly. You were paid for work, Doomer, and then you were paid for a month's work. 40 hours was for a month. And then you were paid again.
Work, by the way.
Dude, Sunday has debilitating autism. The constant bouncing of the Vosh head up and down on the fucking Minecraft blocks is just crazy. I can't believe he kept this up for so long.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, no, but it was over the course of a month. He was told he could allocate it over the course of a month. You were then not paid again until about 2 months later, 3 months later, something like that. So, Doomer, it could be, it doesn't necessarily make you look better, because from the outside looking in, that could be that you simply did not complete the work on time and were not paid again until later. So that does not necessarily exonerate you. I don't know why you think that these details exonerate you.
They exonerate me because it means that I wasn't scamming. If I was a scammer and I was given money up front, I could have run away with the money, and I didn't. I completed the work.
No one thinks you...
But you did, though. You did run away with the money. That's the point of all this. And we know this for a very simple reason. If you didn't run away with all the money, then you wouldn't have any debt. Because you ghosted your client for 2 years. If you ghost your client after taking his money, you have run away.
Yeah, no, Sunday's doing it manually. You can see his focused face every time it goes back to the gameplay.
With the money. That's how this works. Kuihman is spitting.
You had a premeditated scam. No one thinks that at all.
They absolutely do.
No, I've not been arguing that.
How many videos?
I don't think you have the capacity for premeditation, my friend. I think that is your strongest defense. You didn't intend anything because you lack the cognitive ability to intend. I think you're just like a dog chasing cars. You just do things.
What have you made with Scammer Media in the title?
With a question mark.
Oh, yeah. Okay, buddy. Yeah, okay. You fucking concerned troll piece of shit. Okay, there's a question mark.
There is. It's a question. Scammer Media exposed by President Sunday.
Question mark. Okay. So I misremembered.
You're crying about videos.
So the one,
you're doing my job. Sorry,
so the one thing that I
Josh is unironically evil. Sorry, excuse me.
The one thing that I misremembered, the one thing that I misremembered makes no material difference to what was going on, and what was leaked confirms my story.
Yes,
it confirms that I completed. It confirms that I completed the work, and it confirms that they were satisfied with it because they hired me again, and they.
Yeah, I haven't heard anyone arguing that Doomer planned to steal the money the whole time. I literally have not heard a single person argue that at any point, but sure.
Increase the hourly rate. You disagree with any of that?
Actually, no, it does not exonerate you because the hourly the payment being for work.
By the way, friends, I was not paid $2,800 for my video essay. If you want to help support the channel and you like what I do, please super chat so that my wonderful editor.
The title question mark, ancient YouTube technique. Confucius say a question cannot be defamation.
Doesn't have to sleep out in the cold and the rain.
That was already done means there is a delineation between that work and the Hassan pot, but you eroded that delineation, and this means that you're on the hook to the company and not just string.
What the fuck are you talking about? How does it erode the delineation? They're completely separate things.
Well,
no, they're not.
No, they aren't completely separate things if you say you're not going to do one and you're going to do work for the other project in payment of this. This collapses them. The Hassan project is no more. Now there is only the show. It is the show you ghosted on.
Because you said that was now for prepaid work on the show, just like the rest of the work you'd done was prepaid work.
I said it was basically prepaid because I was going to keep working on the show for free as a favor to the dude. That doesn't mean that the fucking money for the Hassan video is now in some sort of a contract to the media company that was never involved in any of this shit. It just means...
Okay. Media company was never involved in any of this shit. Never involved in any of this shit. But here's the problem, Doomer. I got the screenshots where you're involved with the media company in this shit. I got it all.
Okay, let's go.
I got everything. You fucked with the wrong bathrobe today, friendo.
Okay, yeah, here's my issue with this stuff, though, is that none of it dates back to the Hassan payment. It doesn't seem like the media company became involved until the show payments started. So while Doomer is dishonestly representing it by saying, quote unquote, the media company was never involved in any of this shit, it's just not true. If you apply that purely to the Hassan payment initially at the time of the agreement for the Hassan payment being made, yes, it is true that the media company was not involved with the Hassan payment at that time. But later on and retroactively, Doomer kind of involved them.
Okay. So
chose to. By choice.
This nice guy just got mad. Beware. This is the CEO of the company. Hey man, wanted us to sync on budgetary related items. Do you have availability this Friday? Yeah, what times work best for you? Ideally later in the afternoon, like 3 to 4 p.m. Does that work for you? Sure, sounds good. Cool, I'll sync with and see what time works best for him. Hey, so doesn't he join the call? You get the general idea. Here's number 2. Where's number 2? Did I even put up number 2? No, here's number 2. Cool, Eastern, works for me. Hey man, I just wanted to check in and see how things are going. Anything you need to do, and said you, I think, that's probably string. Said that you'd have the first part of the treatment sometime today. Let me know if you need anything. Yeah, I'll need feedback on that. Aside from that, I don't need anything at the moment. It's not really a treatment yet. It's a commentary on the shows that inspired the project. How those ideas could be incorporated in meta-level decisions like characters, setting the social structure, etc. Not social structure, structure. Hey man, just reviewed your last post and we're trying to organize a 90-minute creative writing meeting for tomorrow. What's your availability like? Cool. This guy is working with the company. Like, this is the company's project. Hey man, what's your availability tomorrow for a creative meeting? He's going to meetings with the company. He is working with the company. Look at this here. This is a little bit too high. Like up here, meeting locked in for tomorrow, 4:30 p.m. Western time. And then of course we.
Yeah, again, this just does it. The issue is that Doomer is just, again, he's inflating a claim that is true. So I mean, this isn't like a crazy kill shot.
We have one of many cases of Doomer just not making it. So we have probably can't make the meeting today. Oh, that's.
Is the entire commentary community irredeemably retarded, or is it just me? There's definitely some truth to that.
It's actually cut off. Let's then we go to the last one here, and we have the same deal. So it's like It's just crazy. Look, hey, we wanted to sync us on budgetary related items. He was in budget meetings with these guys, during which he negotiated what he was paid. He was paid out with the other people. I can't show you those because they aren't censored yet, but I have them. This guy was paid out with other people by this company. It's unbelievable. Thank you, Nerd Angle, for the $19.99 US to combat homelessness, a most worthy cause. Paul Fletcher, thank you for your membership.
They asked for treatment, and he first gave them some worthless pages talking about the Daily Show, Always Sunny, etc., and he thinks that is worth something. So it seems that there was the claim was 17 pages were the total handed in. So I assume he initially handed in that 7-page show notes, and then there's the 3 pages of treatments, and then a 7-page draft. That's what I think they got. Or 20 pages, I think that's maybe a 10-page draft. Something along those lines. And the idea was that I believe that was meant to be done in the first month. That is my understanding. From that other string puller message, that seems to be the understanding, is that that initial $800 was meant to cover that. 40 hours of work. He was supposed to put in 40 hours, put together a treatment and a draft. Come back to him. It ended up taking... there were 2 months before they got anything, I think. And then he asked for more money. And it took another month and a half for them to get the full amount of work. No, it's 80 hours for that. It's 80 hours total for the 17 pages, 20 pages that he produced. He billed for 80 hours for that. So that's nuts. The idea that he's claiming he did like all the work, it was, I did so much work, it was amazing, they were so satisfied with the work. It doesn't seem to be true. I don't see how it could possibly be true. Especially with this, we've got statement now, so Jay Stalk was caping a little bit, I think, when he was saying, we can't take anything he says to a proxy seriously. I understand the Philly situation happened, but that does seem to have been more a Philly issue, so whatever. But whatever, I get where Jason's coming from on that. But now we do have a public statement directly from Stringpuller saying this is what happened with Doomer. So that doesn't stand anymore. Doomer's got to contend with that.
Upgraded to the year of our Ford. Glorious. But you get the general idea here. Like, this guy claiming that these people had no part in any of this is just a flat-out lie. He directly spoke to them. He negotiated his pay with them. They were directly involved. The show was their project. He was working on their show. Rixai, thank you for the additional 10 gifted memberships. God damn, thank you.
I'm going to keep doing it. Just means I'm going to keep doing work for you, which, by the way, confirms. Shut the fuck up, Kuihman. That confirms the work for January was done with satisfaction.
I don't know legally, but ethically, to me, that does mean you're on the hook to the company. If you've attributed that to the company.
Yeah, he's insisting that being paid again means that the work must have been satisfactory, but String directly contradicts that.
I don't give a fuck about your morals. You are a piece of shit. No one cares about your fucking morals.
Okay,
you're
then why are you on here arguing?
I care.
With them. Then why are you on here arguing with them if you don't care? You clearly do care. You're crying about it.
I'm crying about it.
Yes, you've just come on stream spurring about it, and you're defending yourself on Twitter every 5 minutes.
Disavow this ableist language.
I defended myself on Twitter one time.
That's not true.
You want to go check?
Yeah, I can.
Checkmate. Checkmate, Kuihman.
Go check.
Wait,
sure, so there's two
is it going to be like one
instance
where you responded, or is it?
I responded to it.
That's
the only instance I responded to.
No, that's not true. Oh, and you've blocked me because I retweeted something you posted.
Yeah, I blocked you because you're a fucking dickhead.
You replied to 2 people. Sure.
Alan B, thank you for the $6.99 Canadian in advancement for the Hassan video essay. 2 years. That's my guaranteed due by date. It'll take 2 years. Okay, it'll be good though. It'll be short, but it'll be good.
No, I replied to one comment thread. I'm running around Twitter defending myself every 5 minutes. I literally replied to one comment thread.
Okay, 2 people. Sure, one comment thread, but 2 people. Sure.
Okay, to be fair though, he's been spending so much time screaming at people on YouTube in his own self-defense that he probably wouldn't have time for Twitter and Discord and whatnot.
Oh, but he did. Oh, but he did.
Okay, you understand. The overall issue here is now more in my favor.
Oh,
now we know.
I should also make it clear.
No, I disagree.
Really quickly, Kuihman. I should make it like very clear. I don't think so. I was told he was directing mass harassment, and I made a statement about it, but I didn't see what he said until like a little while ago.
Oh,
and I don't.
What he's talking about here. This is beautiful. Okay, especially in this context because he's in the process of making a video criticizing Dark Viper right now for taking down people's shows. Look at this. I literally can't even, okay? So here we have Doomer Media and JStock's Discord. He actually deserves punishment. This is referring to me. This is after, oh, Bouncy Boosh. There we go. He actually deserves punishment. Sunday is absolutely malevolent. When he comes on stream and it takes repeating a sentence 8 times, at which point he answers, he gives our Wolfgang, Jesus Christ, learn how to write in English. But here we go. I think I'm going to contact YouTube support about the harassment. He deserves to have his channel deleted. Right here at the bottom. Dude. You're trying to get into internet commentary. This ain't their jam, buddy.
Stafrex super chatted $9.99. $9.99 from Stafrex. Confucius say, one who see question mark as equal sign. Argue with mirrors, equal puzzled by reflection also say mixing question mark, equal sign, makes much sense as, fish climb tree, escape water.
Sorry, what? Confucius say, I who see question mark as equal sign, argue with mirrors, equal puzzled by reflection. Also say, mixing question mark equal sign makes much sense as fish climb tree, escape water. Oh man. That's good. That's good. I like that. Wisdom of the East. Ah, thank you, Tofa. Ah. Okay.
Kind of against TOS, isn't it? No? I think I liberally read this that way. Alright, as we were. Okay, Boosh. Get ready. Here we go.
I don't think this was him directing mass harassment at or mass flagging at somebody.
I mean, yeah, I didn't call it mass flagging. I said that he was saying he was going to try and get him banned.
Oh,
sure.
So
yeah, I said I was considering reporting him to YouTube harassment because he threatened my employer. You have a problem with that?
Okay, guys. I threatened DoomerMedia's employer. Here, I need to be big for this, okay? I threatened DoomerMedia's employer. Get ready for this. Get ready for this, guys. This is gonna be just Get ready for this, guys. This is going to be absolutely unreal.
Yeah. I think he made a hit piece on you.
No. He threatened my employer.
I threatened his employer now.
What did he do? Okay.
He said he's going to fuck with Willie Mac.
Show me what he did.
I'm gonna fuck with Willie Mac. Hang on, let me hear it one more time. One more time.
Is now more in my favor.
Oh,
now we know.
I should also make it clear.
No, I disagree.
Really quickly, Kuihman. I should.
No. He threatened my employer.
Yeah, what did he do? What did he do? Okay.
He said he's going to fuck with Willie Mac.
This is gonna be good.
Okay, show me what he did. Show me that.
Okay.
All right, hold on. I can just pull it up on stream here.
Yeah, because
Who's your
what do you say?
employer?
You pull it up.
What does this mean?
Willie Mac.
is my
So
employer.
I guess he's gonna make videos on Willie Mac or some shit. We'll see what this
It's
is.
so crazy he tried this shit. Imagine if I hadn't pressed the evidence. Because he's attempting here to just grandstand and expect you to emotionally blackmail people into just agreeing with him. It's pathetic. It's woman behavior. It really is. It's just, I'm a victim. Believe me. So estrogenic. It's nuts. It's embarrassing. But imagine if I hadn't pressed the evidence. Imagine I just accepted. Imagine I went with the DGG bullshit. Imagine I was actually just brain locked to some of these people. And I was just like, yeah, Sunday bad. Yeah, he must have threatened your employer and didn't push this. crazy what he's trying to pass off as threatening his employer. Nuts, man. Actually, so fucking dishonest.
I have never said I'm making videos on Willie Mack. I have so little interest in Willie Mack, I can't even begin to express.
You're talking about this YouTube chat message?
You're talking about a deranged schizophrenic with a history of fucking harassing people. Again, Destiny, who has taken...
Oh, Doomer. This is me threatening Doomer's employer. This is me threatening Doomer's employer. Oh, good lord. I am personally very interested to see what the ultimate reaction is to Willie Mack employing someone to help write a script going after Keffels for running off with thousands of dollars who did the same. I'm just... This man is literally Eric Cartman as a 40-year-old. Help. Police. Murder.
Taking the dick of the internet for his entire, like, the dick of the internet more than basically anybody else has. It's determined that Sunday is one of the most disgusting people. Shut the fuck up and let me talk. It's determined that Sunday is one of the most disgusting people he's ever fucking dealt with. This is a guy who was helping.
Oh, what was this? Hang on.
Guys, even Destiny doesn't like him. If Destiny doesn't like him, then none of you can like him in any way. No one can ever offer any defense of any action he's ever done, and nobody can ever correct the record on what the exact facts were when he does do something wrong. Nobody can ever have any charity towards Sunday or read anything in the way it is actually intended. Because Destiny doesn't like him. But Destiny. But Destiny. This is a man who, a 37-year-old man, exhibiting some of the most fatherless, estrogenic behavior I have seen from anyone. Anyone. Women don't come close. Lav is not this estrogenic and fatherless. Lav is far more masculine than this. It's nuts.
Hang on. What did he say? I didn't even catch that litany.
I'm sure we'll see what this is.
I gotta hear that again. Hang on.
Which is like,
you're talking about this YouTube chat message?
You're talking about a deranged schizophrenic with a history of fucking harassing people. Again, Destiny, who has taken the dick of the internet for his entire, like, the dick of the internet more than basically anybody else has. It's determined that Sunday is one of the most disgusting people. Shut the fuck up and let...
Oh, Destiny doesn't like me. Destiny, the, okay, I just, This guy doesn't like me. Oh no.
Okay, that's a lame attack. Those tweets.
A guy who plotted to murder a kid and his family because the kid was fucking with his internet. Mapped out the routes to get to his house, gunned them all down, and escape.
I mean, like, yeah. It's just crazy for DGGs to act as though Sunday's behavior is, like, so unhinged. It's not, like, because this, again, they just fill in the gaps. I even have an issue with Destiny on this. I've not heard Destiny's presentation of Sunday's quote-unquote crimes. I just know that he got blacklisted for the beard shit, which I get. So I've not even heard Destiny say this. It's just like erudite and shit, pushing these narratives, and people fill in the blanks. Even though I don't think Destiny would... I don't know that he would have the same criticisms. But they defend it on the grounds of, oh, well, Destiny doesn't want to be around Sunday. Yeah, not because of any of this.
Thinks I'm a bad person. No, I think what happened is he got kind of sensitive about his after losing his wife and embarrassing himself in front of every single Palestine, Israel, Middle East expert in the world at once. he started losing his beard, and it formed the shape. It formed the shape of the place where he's doing genocide apology for. I think that's what happened. I think he's a sensitive little boy. Pizzle is here. Oh, hey, Pizzle. What is Doomer talking about? Destiny loves you. I mean, you can't have that kind of hate without love. That's true.
Dude, Jessica Pizzle coming in to be a Sunday dick rider on Twitter is one of the craziest turns of events I could have possibly fucking imagined. Yeah. Such a bizarre allegiance.
Let me talk. It's determined that Sonny's one of the most disgusting people he's ever fucking dealt with. This is a guy who was helping him fire.
I can't get over the fact though that he's like, Destiny doesn't like Sunday. Why are you pointing out that I lied about being paid for work I already did, that I then tried to pass off as paying off a debt that I ran away from for 2 years? Like,
shut the fuck up, Kuihman. I don't give a fuck.
You don't cry. So I just want to respond to what's on screen right now.
I want
to move the conversation past the
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Doomer, you occasionally have to let him cut in. You can't just yell over him the whole time. I understand you're upset. It's fine. I'll let you finish all of your thoughts, but you got to let Kuihman.
I understand. I'd be upset too, personally.
Fun sometimes.
Yeah, so what he's saying here is that he's interested to see what the public response is, to see that someone who worked on a video about a scammer is also a scammer. That's what he's commenting on.
Poetry. Oh, Kuihman makes himself so hard to hate.
Here.
No, he's not. He's threatening.
Yes, he is.
Yes.
No, he's very clear.
I won.
Saying
give a fuck.
what the ultimate reaction is to Willie Mack employing someone to help write a script, going after Keffels for running off with thousands of dollars who did the same. He's saying, what will people think of the hypocrisy? When the writer is someone who
you don't think that Sunday is going to do anything, because why would he do that? It's not like
if he makes a video, that's fair game. If he makes a video, that's fair game.
And fucking
if he makes a video, that's fair game. That's the game we're playing. If he makes a video, that's fair game.
Do what? By the by, you want to something funny? Oh.
By the by. Sunday's so epic.
This is Willie Mack today. To be perfectly clear on my position, I have not seen any messages from Sunday. I have received obvious comments from some obvious members about this drama, audience members about this drama. That is okay. Doomer should pay back the money. As long as Sunday isn't going his actual IRA employer, I don't care. Doomer did good work for me, separate the art from the artist, and all that shit. It is still my video after all, and when it's played back, all of this will be forgotten. When it's paid back, rather, all this will be forgotten. Pay back the money, Doomer.
Yeah, exactly. There's nothing. What can Sunday do to Willie Mack? What the fuck can Sunday do to Willie Mack? This is the thing. It's just not the same when it's online stuff. It's a fair fight. I don't understand why people can't get their heads around this. Doomer wants to be in the commentary shit. He was saying, like, he wants to make commentary and drama content. That's what he wants to be doing. That means you have to play by the same rules as everyone else, which is that we make streams on each other, we talk shit, make hit pieces, make videos, compiling embarrassing moments. That's all fair game. You can fucking hate someone for it, but you don't get to then start reporting and bringing in other shit. Just make your video back. Exonerate yourself. Provide your epic evidence and counter arguments. Debunk. That's how it goes. That's literally the fun. No? Am I correct? Like, I feel like I have this moment like every other week where it just feels like I'm the only one who actually enjoys this content. It feels like everyone else is just miserable. They just don't want to. Like the idea of when I got mentioned in that Ricky Pacquar. Do you guys remember that guy? The black guy with the smoke alarm chirping constantly in the background, where he spoke about how I made fun of Akira Toriyama. When I saw that guy mention me in that video, I was so happy. I was like, my first hit piece, let's fucking go. I was so happy. It was about the fucking Dragon Ball shit. So I was like, oh man, let's go. Any publicity, exactly. Exactly. Flip on Addy Pupil's page, yeah. I hope someone makes a hit piece on Stylo for slandering Naruto. That's epic. All right, let's go back to this video. But yeah, I feel like no one else, like Doomer obviously doesn't enjoy it. He shouldn't bother doing it. He's just stay behind the camera, bro. That is the bit. You got a voice for behind the camera. Sorry, a face for behind the camera, not a voice for behind the camera. A voice for mixing audio. A face for behind the camera.
Pay your bills. That's your employer talking.
Okay,
if he doesn't
then
go
YouTube harassment would determine there's no problem. So what's the problem with me reporting him for harassment?
Because I think trying to get people banned over criticism is very gay.
It's not about criticism, Kuihman.
Hey, look, gay people don't do that shit, okay?
Yes, they do, Sunday.
They were one of the earliest.
Yes, they do. Stop caping. Yes, they do.
Victims of cancellation.
You're being criticised, and you're very upset over it. It's fine to be upset. It's not fine.
Countless people have criticised me. I've never said this about anyone else. Why?
We're bringing back gay as a pejorative. Okay, we're bringing it back. It's back. In fact, it's back, and it's up bigly. Okay. It's just listen. It's white boy culture. We need to bring back white boy culture. I think that's the problem here. That's the fucking problem. It's not no. Listen, not white boy like Donald Trump, Nick Fuentes shit. Like white boy vibes. You know, Stylo can be part of the white boy culture as well. You know, Stylo's. Okay, no, I shouldn't play into that. Kenny can be part of the white boy culture because he's not an African American. He's like Kenny's like on the outside. But we need some more of that, you know, Kyle, Monster, Call of Duty, Halo. We need some of that energy back, man. We need some of that culture back. N-words. We need some of that, you know. Federation of Asshole Gamers energy.
Might that be?
Maybe they didn't bother you quite this much?
Yeah, they didn't threaten to fuck with my employer. Correct.
That's not what that is. That's not what that is.
You are a fucking retard.
Literally, nobody in
context from him, that is 100% what that is. This is what he does.
Nobody above 70 IQ is going to believe that.
You are not one to talk about IQ.
You're like insane.
You are Doomer, look. Crying is nature's way of helping bad feelings go away. So if you've been hurt or are feeling bad, whether you're a kid or a mom or a dad, it's okay. It's okay to cry.
Fucking retard.
Dude, you can keep saying that, but right now you're fucking embarrassing yourself.
Okay.
Embarrass myself, me? Okay, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
Yeah, I assume that's a bit of Sunday's gym fan coming out, referencing the Barney song that Metica plays on the Hugbox Chronicles. Oh, it did when he was IA.
Smog Chocolates, you learn that from Hassan as well.
It's crazy Doom went just silent.
I'm excited. I just got DM back by Vegan Gains. He wants to come on the show sometimes. Fucking so based.
That's epic.
I love that guy.
All right.
Fargo Lefty, how does Doomer feel about JStalk doing drama content and threatening the livelihood of those he covers? To the best of my knowledge, JStalk is never contacting someone's employer. JStalk has not participated in getting someone fired, so there's no comparison at all.
What did Sunday say to Willie Mack?
Yeah, I don't know that he said anything yet, but he threatened to. Again, this is someone who is this is someone who has
I don't see where I threatened to say anything to Willie Mack here.
Gotten someone fired before.
That's not true. You know, it'd be cool if I did have the power to get somebody fired, but unfortunately.
Why does
He's
it matter even
he's
if
contacted
Sunday
multiple
does
people
contact him? Like, he's not going to care.
Dude, you're like, actually,
We'll see.
seriously, go back to the drawing board on this. Calling this a threat is you're going to land so flat in your
shut
face.
the fuck up.
Dude, I was spitting. I was right. Dude, this guy calls me a retard. All this shit. I was so right. I was so right. I'm so vindicated. I'm so smart. I'm a stable genius, in fact. I'm the smartest. I am throughout heaven and earth. I alone am the smart one. Okay?
It's fucking
I don't
embarrassing.
care what
it's
you
so
say.
sad.
You guys
Dude,
want to
it's
continue to
so pathetic.
subsidize wild conversations like this, by
he's
the way?
saying it's a point about hypocrisy. Obviously, anyone can read that and tell exactly what is going on there.
Patreon.gg/JST. Okay.
From somebody else who doesn't have a history of fucking with people's employment? Yeah, maybe.
You're just retarded, dude. I don't want to tell
You're
you.
a
This
fucking
might play to
retard.
DGG, but to no one else. So.
Okay.
Themadi
So
donated
retarded
$5.
here.
Are you not entertained?
Can you explain a single thing basically in the very at all that verifies the overall story in a way that is against me? Everything I've seen, all of the leaks that I've seen verify my original story.
Doomer, what do you mean the overall story? My whole point has been, yes, you ran off with this money for 2 years. I cannot confirm whether you actually had an intention because I can't read your to pay it back because I can't read your fucking mind. You ran off with the money for 2 years and you've obfuscated the nature of the payment in a way that benefits you. That's what I can see.
How did I obfuscate the nature of the payment? The payments are completely separate, Kuihman.
You said
no connection.
Hang on. Letting it buffer. Oh, we're coming back. Let's just going back up again. No, we're going down. Come on, get back up there. There's a windstorm outside, so that might be making things worse. Come on, there's so little left to go. It's back. I'm waiting for it to like jump back up again so it's smooth. Yeah, it looks like it's kind of waffling. Oh, that's so annoying. That is so annoying. Yeah, Brooks offered to help me like fix up my internet, so we're gonna do that soon. Oh, there we go. Now we're talking. Haha.
We're getting there.
Now we're in business.
Now we're kicking the gas.
Let's finish this.
Because you repeatedly said that the payments for work were work that was already done. That was not the case.
Okay, the misremembered the detail.
Because you're claiming that the work
Is there anyone who wants to
after,
say this, or are we done with that?
Because you're claiming that you were only able to do surplus. Because you were claiming that the work you did after February, when you said you were not going to be able to do the Hassan video, was extra work for free. The problem is if you didn't actually...
No. He didn't say he raped me. Doomer said he would be happy to rape me. He said he would be happy to rape that twink loser on stream. Okay.
The work that you were paid for, then you weren't... There's no proof that you were at a point yet where the work you were doing was additional work and not just work you already owed them. Right? Because you never invoiced any of it. Which is your basic responsibility as a contractor.
Yes, I know Mr. Sen called me a shota. I have seen on X. Thank you for letting me know.
Any fucking difference? The point, Kuihman, is that the work got done. Do you contest that?
Again.
There's no proof that the work got done. We're going to address this soon, by the way.
I mean, you can go watch my content.
You agree that the work got done?
I agree. Work got done, yes.
So this is gonna, just real quick, this is gonna come down to somebody saying what 40 hours of work product is, and I don't think you can really do that, especially when it's early on in a thing like that. Like, realistically, if he produces work product and he says this is the work product of 40 hours, unless it's drastically like 2 pages of work, like a 1 page of work, 2 pages of work, I think with the quantity that was provided,
I'm just not making a hard
me,
judgment on whether it is or is not up to the standard that they expect it. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that
all the evidence you need. You saw that they paid me, then you saw they paid me again, and they paid me more.
I saw a delay that was longer than would be expected.
That the January stuff
that is a longer gap between.
So I was so right to be questioning this as well and to be pressing on this now with the statement. Well, I say so right. We don't have firm evidence, whichever statement from Stringpuller, just to be clear on exactly what I'm basing this on. But I feel like this was such a good press. Now that we've seen, there is the case that Doomer now there is the case that String believes Doomer was dragging out the work and soliciting more payments in order to continue receiving money. Because Doomer is using the details of what is alleged to be his scam in order to exonerate himself. But this is literally that's what they're alleging the scam is.
Up to the standard that they expect it. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that substantiated in a solid way.
You saw that they paid me, then you saw they paid me again, and they paid me more.
I saw a delay that was longer than would be expected.
That the January stuff
that is a longer gap between the payments than I would expect if you competed it to a sufficient level on time. J-Sup, go. Sorry.
I would just real quick. I would just ask: do you think they would be seeking to work with him and seek to do more meetings with him in March or whatever that was? The screenshots you showed on stream. If he was doing unsatisfactory work up until that point.
No, I would say that's a point against it, sure. Just like the other thing's a point in favor. Like I say,
yeah, well, that is a point against it, 100%. Like, the fact they kept hiring him obviously does suggest that they were happy with the work. But given these people were like kind of friends, or Doomer was at least playing like they were friends, they trusted this guy. They kept paying him because they trusted him. That seems to be the explanation. But obviously, the reason we're gonna the pro Doomer reason is obviously gonna be because his work was just that good. Yeah, exactly. Also, they've already spent money. They're already invested in Doomer's ideas, in what Doomer's doing. They give him more money because they want to make sure that he completes what he's doing.
I wouldn't make a firm statement. I'm simply saying that Doomer acting as though it is a settled.
Well, it would be evidence in the sense that this is what he's bringing to bear as a justification for his claim. The question is not whether it's evidence. The question is whether it's compelling evidence. We have actually no reason to find this compelling. This is a story he's concocted. There is no data whatsoever that confirms his story that he was only paid for work that he did. We actually have the contrary. I'm going to show you that soon.
Matter that I obviously did exactly the amount of work they wanted from me very quickly. That was actually the best work anyone's ever done.
The fucking people who have access to the evidence, I don't have the ability to defend myself. These fucking people.
I do a high-pitched tone to mock him, and he immediately gets the same pitch. That's crazy.
Or the people who have access to the information.
Well, you should have thought about that before deleting all of your socials and all of your records before scamming your client, dipshit. That's kind of on you. I don't see how that's anyone else's problem.
If there was proof of anything, they would have fucking leaked it, okay? I shouldn't be speculating.
Shut the fuck up Friday,
Of course it's not fucking evidence. I don't have any ability to defend myself.
Anything. Then shut the fuck.
I can't even defend myself. Dude, it's so crazy how upset he is here. He's like in the fetal position right now, screaming.
Shut the fuck up. If they have not provided evidence of something, then it didn't happen. Because
I hate watching back my own stuff like this. I hate doing it, but I do it every time. I just feel I feel like I'm coping, but I'm not coping. Because I don't even I could just let this play and you guys will come away with the same impressions if I pumped it with me saying how epic I am.
They are selectively fucking cropping DMs in the most fucking dishonest way possible. If they had evidence of something, they would have released it.
That's not true.
True. Actually, yes, we need to get voice cell. Let's get voice cell and the face cell analysis on Doomer. I need the data. Okay.
I have the full DMs in a video form to scroll through that I'd have to censor and I'd have to get permission to show. Probably not going to because large amounts of it is just them like shooting the shit and like inanities. But no, none of this was cropped. It was the only place it was cut was where it switched to either a totally different conversation or they were just shooting the shit and there was nothing happening. And again, like, lest we forget, the only reason why Doomer doesn't have his own copy of all of these is because he deleted all of his socials. Why? So that he wouldn't have to look back.
Doomer sounds like the kind of guy who would never, ever, ever rape a woman. Trust me, he would never do that. Thank you, Ingersting, for that message. It's an interesting one.
Or be traced by the people he took money from. Like, the thing he's fielding in his defense is that he scammed his clients.
True, Sunday spin.
You should assume that if they have not produced evidence of something, that evidence doesn't fucking exist. Because why wouldn't they release it?
I don't know whether there is confirming evidence either way as to whether that was satisfactory work. I haven't seen it. I'm simply not making a firm statement. You're pressing me for a firm statement saying, Doom is actually a really great guy who worked really hard on this show. I'm simply just not making a firm statement. I just don't know. I simply don't know whether that work was sufficient or not. I know work got done. I've seen that.
Okay, so just to be clear, I did one thing wrong, okay? One thing that we've all agreed on since the beginning. Can you identify a second thing that I did wrong at any point?
Yeah, you lied about the, you misrepresented. No, you lied. I'm going to say you lied. You lied about being paid only for work that you've already completed in order to justify trying to weasel your way out of having to pay $1,000 that you owe on the Hassan project. That's the additional thing you did wrong. The third thing you did wrong was you went on to defend yourself at all. What you should have done is say, this is a private matter. What I did was fucked up. I'm sorry. I'm going to talk to them right now. We're going to settle this. We're going to fix this right now. But you didn't do that.
Yeah, I think with a little bit of self-control, Doomer could have easily handled this. She's been like, listen, yeah, I fucked up. I want to try and handle this privately. I'm going to give the money back. I need to get in contact with this string poly guy. That's it. It's that easy. With a little bit of self-control. A little bit of humility. But no, he has to spurg out the idea that anyone has any interpretation of events that differs from the one he wants them to have. The idea that anyone has an opinion that he disagrees with. Sends him into a fucking rage. He can't handle it. He's such a fucking man-child. Yeah, you obfuscated the nature of the payment repeatedly on streams. Yeah.
Yes.
The payments were not connected, Kuihman.
Yes, they were.
What is it? What evidence do you? What evidence do you have?
The evidence is that you claimed that you were doing work on the show to pay off the Hassan debt. That makes them connected. Now the Hassan debt becomes the show debt. That's what that means. And by the by, you were paid more by $1,000 for the Hassan video that now got folded into the show debt than you were for the show, which means that show you owe at least $2,800 on. I think you probably owe more. Because it looks like you got a raise. It looks like you got paid $1,000 and had practically nothing to show for it. Certainly not 40 hours worth of work.
Have that the payments were connected.
You saying that the payment...
What evidence do you have that the payments were connected?
Yeah, sure. I have a message from you where you say the payment for the Hassan video is now added to credit for work that you will be doing on the show. That's what I have. Is you saying that? You said that.
Okay, so you're acknowledging that the Hassan payment, the donation, had nothing to do with the show.
It didn't have anything to do with the show, and then you made it have everything to do with the show by trying to claim that you had already paid off part of it by working on the show.
When it was made, correct?
Well, when you agreed on the Hassan payment, the guy said, I will enjoy working with you in the future.
So you
yeah, and in addition to this, said he'd pay Philly $500 if he came on stream, and he didn't. Never happened. By the way, that first $500... Doomer, you should have paid that off. You should have paid that off even if the client refused the payment plan. Just by dint of that promise.
So
that is a debt you actually do owe to Philly.
I do. I've got a little bit of a feeling of sweeping a little bit from some of the commentary guys. Because the idea that they're all going, oh yeah, Doomer, just pay it back, it'll be fine. When Doomer is explicitly saying repeatedly, I'm not paying it back, and reneging on other promises that you had to pay money in regards to this. It's like, what? It's kind of fucking lame.
Because that wasn't for string. That was a deal with Philly.
So that is actually the beginning of your working relationship.
That the Hassan
they actually do
had nothing to do with the media company when it was made. You understand
you
that?
And string. You and string.
That? It's like either say you don't care about him paying it back, and like just say that, or actually, hold him to it. But don't play like you wanna hold him to it, but then you actually don't. You got to kind of own the fact you don't give a fuck.
You and string
understand that the media.
No,
understand that
I don't necessarily understand that. I don't
do with the media company when it was made. You understand that?
Hold on.
No, I think
Kuihman would agree with you on this one point where when you were originally paid for the Hassan video, that was not connected to the media company in any way. That was a personal deal between you and String. I think Kuihman would agree with that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But
Jason justified Doomer not paying the 500 based on the lawsuit. Yeah, but they could just draw. Could they not just turn around and say to them, "I want an actual contract for this that states in no uncertain terms that I don't owe you any more money after this," or some shit like that. I assume there's a way. There's a very simple way to mediate this to make sure that Doomer pays money back. I'm sure it would be very simple if Doomer was just willing to stop being such an obstinate prick. But the thing is, the moment they started making any push or firm demand for the money back when they spoke to him, he spurred the fuck out and was like, "Well, fuck you, I'm not paying anything." It's crazy.
But then it stopped being a personal deal. Because then he started paying for
no one's taking anyone to court. Let's be real.
For the show.
I wish they would.
The show was the company's.
Quite entertaining.
But Kuihman's argument is that when you said, okay, the personal deal we had, that can go on the tab for the media company, or at least that's how the messages have been interpreted, that's what he's saying is when it was eroded.
No, I don't think the Hassan video was a quote-unquote personal deal, quite. It was with String and not with the company. But they even refer to it as working together when they speak about the payment. So I don't believe this, that it's just like paying your friend some money or giving your friend some money so they can get along with a project. It's he was paying him to do the project. They refer to it as working together.
Now, I don't necessarily agree with that because I don't even see the response to that question or to that like statement or any official like way of converting that or making it official in some way. And so I don't know how much legal.
Which works against Doomer's argument because once again, there's no deal here. So if Doomer's payment plan wasn't accepted, then he simply owes money on the Hassan video and has paid none of it off, and may in addition owe money on the show. If Doomer's story is accurate, then it's conceivable, pending some kind of record of him actually completing the work, that he actually has paid off a small amount of the Hassan video. However, if that's the case, the Hassan debt is now no longer separate from the show. Now they're the same.
Legal, how much that would have legs in a legal sense, but that's his argument.
I'm just talking in terms of the agreement. I'm not saying it would hold up. Look, Doomer referred to it as a donation, but it wasn't a donation. It wasn't paid with no strings attached, and there was, it was also that there was an explicit expectation from the payment. It was more like a commission. It was like a commission. I think that's what Beckett was referring to it as. I think that's probably the best language for it. It was a commission. He paid him $2,800 to make the video. I'm saying in terms of what the agreement was, the nature of it, the spirit of it. It's very obvious what I'm saying.
Stop. Oh my God.
Stop talking.
Are you good?
Okay, hang on. We're going to hear it one more time, okay? Yeah. Friends, sing along.
Hey, you understand that?
Hold on.
No,
I think
Kuihman
Kuihman would agree with you on this one point where when you were originally paid for the Hassan video, that was not connected to the media company in any way. That was a personal deal between you and String. I think Kuihman would agree with that, right?
Yes.
Okay. But Kuihman's argument is that when you said, okay, the personal deal we had, that can go on the tab for the media company, or at least that's how the messages have been interpreted, that's what he's saying is when it was eroded. Now, I don't necessarily agree with that because I don't even see the response to that question or to that like statement or any official like way of converting that or making it official in some way. And so I don't know how much legal, how much that would have legs in a legal sense, but that's his argument.
I'm just talking in terms of the agreement. I'm not saying it would hold up in the court of law. I'm saying in terms of what the agreement was, the nature of it, the spirit of it. It's very obvious what I'm saying.
Stop.
Oh my God.
Stop talking.
Are you good, bro? Are you good? This is the behavior of someone who's innocent, by the way.
No, I'm not good.
What's going on?
Stop talking.
Kuihman, log off for 20 minutes. I'm not good. I'm not good, okay.
You're saying that I obfuscated the nature of the payment. My story the entire time from the very beginning was that I got a donation that was completely fucking separate and that I did work for the company.
It wasn't a donation, though. This is the language. This is the language, okay?
Oh, here we go.
Look at this. A little blurry, but you get the gist. $2,800 has been wired through PayPal. Fucking based. Good luck with your homework. Da-da-da-da-da. Looking forward to working with you in the long term. This ain't. Right here. Looking forward to working with you in the long term. This is not. Hey, here's some money for the great job you're doing. Doomer, you just keep on being you. Doomer, for the love of God, do not keep on being you. But like that would be a donation. That's like here's $2,800 just to support your work. I'm a big fan. No. $2,800, looking forward to working with you in the long term. This is a business.
So imagine liking and simping for Run Dave. That's what more people run from President Sunday than President Sunday runs from. So it's just a retarded name. But what do you think I'm wrong about, Greg Utz? I think I've seen you post some retarded comments before, but you're just like deranged. What do you think I'm wrong about? What have I said that's incorrect?
Business arrangement. It was paid through PayPal, by the way. This is not just a donation. This was funding for a project that Doomer promised he would do within a specific time frame.
In furtherance of paying off the original donation. You agree that's been my story the whole time.
You did.
Exactly. It's a commission.
What amounted to 2 days of work for the company.
That is, first of all, that is not true, but you didn't answer my question. You agree that's been my story the entire
So what evidence
time.
do you have? What evidence do you have worked on past February 18th?
You agree that's been my story the entire time, right?
I agree that part has been your story,
Okay,
but that's
and
not what I've been talking about.
Kuihman,
Well,
how do I obfuscate?
Because it's very simple, Doomer. Well, it's very simple, Doomer, because you repeatedly said that the nature of the payment was that you were paid for work that was already completed. That was not the case.
I was paid for work that was completed. I forgot whether I was paid before or after the work got done. The only relevant thing is that the work got done, Kuihman. It doesn't fucking matter.
It's arguable whether
you
that work was
agreed.
completed.
You agreed that I did the work.
No. He agreed that you did work. The work implies that you finished all of the work you had to do, but I see no evidence for this.
Kuihman. It's so bad. It's so funny, man.
Like, you could have scratched off, like, you could have put the date at the top of an article and then never written a single thing. And technically, you did work. Not a negligible amount.
So, Greg, you've got nothing? You've got no argument. Okay, that's cool. I'll chill here. I'll keep covering this drama. That's okay. You can stay mad and chat. That's fine.
To work. I
won't ban you just yet.
Like, a laughable amount of work, even. In fact, that is what you did. But you did work. But you didn't do the work. And that's really the most important part. Because if somebody pays you to do a job, it's not enough, like if you're a deck builder, to just drop a bunch of boards on their lawn, fuck off for 2 years.
You came in spamming about President Sunday. That's what you just came in doing. You're crying right now. Yes, Greg.
And then say, we don't have any agreement, but look, I did work.
I haven't seen.
Not part of the
No. I agreed that you did work for that money. I didn't agree you did the work for that money. I agreed you did.
If Greg can come on. Greg can absolutely come on. If Greg wants to come on and point out exactly where he disagrees with me, where he thinks I was wrong, go for it.
Work for that money. There was work done. Yes.
Well,
okay,
hold
how
on.
did I obfuscate the nature of the payment if what's known now is exactly in line with my original story?
Several times, so I'm going to say it to you.
Yeah, it makes no sense. You're a fucking retard. Can you explain it in a way that makes sense?
So if you say that there is a payment given for work that is already completed, that implies that you do the work, then the payment is completed, and then there's no question about what's going on with the money or what's going on with the work. It's just done. When you are given money for work that is not yet completed, there is a sort of an unending sort of gap in which you can do that work.
Artistically hung up on a detail that makes no fucking difference.
So it does change the nature.
That is the way of my people. But it actually makes a critical difference. It completely undermines his narrative, and it completely undermines his credibility, and it completely undermines his claim that he paid anything at all towards the Hassan debt.
Because if we accepted your original framing, it draws a hard line.
Paid and then did the work.
Doomer, shush, calm down, take a minute. It shows that there is not the strong delineation that you were originally portraying between the work that you were doing for the show and the Hassan video, because it is totally possible.
I never made a strong delineation. You just agreed that was my story the entire time.
No, because it is totally
You did, though. You were saying that they're completely separate. That's a strong delineation. He doesn't even know what he's saying. He's just screaming.
You just agreed that was my story. It is totally possible that
there is uncompleted work on the show. There is uncompleted work on the show in excess of what you're paid for.
That makes you have no evidence, and that makes no fucking sense. So all the evidence you have supports what my story was the entire time.
But not all the evidence I have. Allow me to throw a wrench into this monkey. I got a statement from String. So I asked, can I get a statement from you on the reason for the...
Okay, so yeah, we already covered this, but I guess we'll just play through it again.
The January payment. String replies. Doomer was paid in November to produce a treatment. He gave me an estimate to complete this work for approximately 40 hours or so. He then came back to me in December in a meeting and said that he would need additional working hours to complete the original work. However, unlike many of my other contractors, since he never provided an invoice of his billable hours, I have no idea how he spent those hours. Contrary to Doomer's claim, he was not paid in January for work delivered. He was paid despite work not delivered because he requested additional hours to complete the original workload. So put that in your pipe and smoke it, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, he was paid in advance. He wasn't just paid in advance, he was paid in advance twice, and he never finished the original work. He never did. He never invoiced the time. So we have no clue what he even spent time on.
Yeah, exactly right. We've got no... why do you give him a raise? I'm a bit doubtful of this. Exactly. We can't... There's no way for us to know which side of the story is true, and there are definitely holes in both of them. My fundamental problem, though, is that Doomer constantly portrayed it as though the details of the story exonerated him, when it's just not true, and he refuses. He demands that interpretation is true, but it's just not the case. It is not. There is no way for me to know that. I can't make that statement.
And he never finished. And here's the kicker. Okay, this is the important part. Doomer gave an estimate to complete the work for 40 hours, and then he came to them in December in a meeting and asked for more time, more money, to complete the original work that he'd already given an estimate for. Double scammed, exactly. Exactly. So not only is the January payment not evidence of...
Greg, you're embarrassing yourself in chat right now. Just letting you know. Just telling you. I don't know if you think it's going well right now, but it's you're spurging out.
Him completing his work from the first payment. It actually is the opposite. That's not them topping him up to do additional work.
Welcome to come on stream if you want.
Because he didn't finish the original work. String called Sunday a doxer, by the way. Water under the bridge. I'm a big boy.
I don't have hard evidence either way. I don't have hard evidence either way.
So that you only have...
What do you mean rent-free? You're in chat right now. It's not rent-free. You're literally in everyone's face.
One thing that I ever did that was wrong, which is the thing that I admitted was wrong the entire fucking time.
No, Doomer. Here's what you need to understand, okay? Everything that you do is wrong. Everything you've done on this earth is wrong. You, in fact, yourself, are wrong.
I didn't obfuscate the nature of the payments at all, Kuihman. That was my story initially. You are a retard.
No, it was not your story initially. You've already acknowledged your story changed. Your story has changed. Your story has changed.
How has it changed?
Because you said that you were paid after the work.
Wait, that Freddie Woods. Freddie Woods sent a super chat for $2. I hate pedophiles.
Your story has changed.
How has it changed?
Because you said that you were paid after the work before, and now you're saying you were paid before the work.
That is misremembering an unimportant detail.
Okay,
the only relevant thing is the work.
So we agree the story changed. So the story is not exactly the same, is it? So the story is not...
misremembering an unimportant detail.
No, you are repeatedly... You are just so dishonest. It's so obvious what you're doing. You're repeatedly overstating the nature of the evidence you have and the nature of how robust the story was originally.
I said I didn't have any evidence, Kuihman. What are you talking about? How can I overstate the evidence when I come out and say I don't have access to this account?
Guys, I have no evidence for my position at all. Leave me alone. Like, this is your defense, Doomer? You have no evidence? I mean, I agree. That's what I'm saying.
No fucking... It is fucked for Doomer's position that he can't access his Discord messages, apparently. I don't know if there is a way for him to restore his access. It could be that there truly is no way. I don't know. But if that is the case, that's fucked to him. But I have seen a lot of messages at this point. And like a continuous scroll. So unless they've explicitly deleted messages, then... I don't know. Because you keep saying that any evidence that has and will come out will exonerate you and prove your side, and it didn't. It didn't.
It did.
No, it didn't.
You can't.
No, it didn't.
You can't produce a.
It showed.
It's crazy. It did. He's such a child, man. Let's run that back. Saying
No fucking evidence.
Because you keep saying that any evidence that has and will come out will exonerate you and prove your side, and it didn't. It didn't.
It did.
No, it didn't.
You can't.
No, it didn't.
You can't produce a single other thing.
Hold on.
You're getting.
Can I cut in through both of you? Can I cut in through both of you right now?
You just said you misremembered.
I'm just trying to help both like the audience understand what's going on. So Doomer's saying this helped his side because it's showing that not only was he paid for work prospectively before he'd done any work for them, $40 hours at $20 an hour, that they then upped it on the next payment for 40 hours at $25 an hour, and seemed to afterwards continue to seek out his employment and seek to pay him for additional work. So it seems like there wasn't that much of an issue with the work he was producing, and that he was paid and did the work for the 2 payments he got that weren't the $2,800 for his song. Kuihman's argument
that way.
Yeah.
Okay, you're saying so.
Kuihman's, yep. That was Doomer's side. Kuihman's argument is saying, but actually, because you said it was prepaid work, and then you were paid for work that was already done, was the work.
Section 8 energy, dude. Oh man. Notice how J-Stock only cuts in when he can defend Doomer. I mean, listen, J-Stock was relatively fair, I think, in moderation here. He definitely obviously sided with Doomer, but I feel like as far as what I expected, I was pleasantly surprised. I expected it to be worse here. I thought this might have been like a straight 3v1. So
wording Doomer used, it proves that you were lying because
I was a bit sort of like unsure at first. I was like, fuck.
You weren't prepaid for that work. You were paid after that work was done, or you were paid sorry,
the other way around.
I said the opposite. I said the opposite. Yeah, I said the opposite.
Well, J-Stock didn't want to cover it, but I assume he was happy to have me on to just sort of like grill him a bit on it, so you could basically make people happy. But obviously that resulted in Doomer jumping on. So Doomer kind of screwed himself on that one. I mean, J-Stock was probably doing it to protect Doomer, to be honest. He's probably like, I don't want to make this guy spurg out any more than he needs to. He's already getting so much shit. People fucking hate this guy. I don't want to encourage it. I don't want to pour gasoline on the fire. And but Doomer, no, was desperate. He had to get in there.
You were prepaid for that work. You said you were paid for work that was already done, as in you were being paid for work done, but you were prepaid, and that shows an inconsistency in the story, and that you've said this whole time, like, any leaks will exonerate you. Just real quick, where I come down on that, I do think that probably I come down a little closer to Doomer on that. Like, it seems to me that I would interpret it that way, that they were okay with the work, at least, if not impressed with it, that they upped his...
That one didn't age quite so well.
Pay and continue to pay him over time, but I also think it's like unfortunate for
he went from $20 per hour to $25 per hour for nothing. On faith. They literally took it on faith that he would finish the work if they increased his funds.
That you couldn't get these messages, couldn't get access to them, because now you do have something
that wasn't very smart, was it? Really,
thing that is inconsistent. I would agree with you that it's in a way that's a non-tangible, but unfortunately there are going to be people who disagree with you as well.
At what point, President Sunday, do we call Doomer a scammer and then call it a day? When I grow weary of the noises he makes.
Oh, now is a great time to remind you guys. We've got 273 watching right now, but only 79. That's great. Only 79 likes, guys. We've got so many freeloaders here right now. If you wouldn't mind just liking the stream, subscribing to the channel, donating, buying membership, gifting membership, buying super chat, if you can. Thank you very much. Go to discord.gg/Kuihman, twitter.com/Kuihman. Open your wallets, open your hearts, open your wallets, open your hearts.
Doomer will have my permission to die.
Anyway, I just wanted to get all of the arguments out for both sides.
There's going to be people like Kuihman who are going to grasp onto any little straw and make it into the biggest fucking thing in the world when it doesn't matter. It makes no difference at all in the grand scope of the story. Kuihman knows that I only did one thing wrong.
I love how you have to desperately poison the well. You desperately poison the well. You're just like, you're a retard. You're hoping onto a relevant detail. You have to spurg out. You can't have a calm discussion about it. I can sit here and talk to you pretty freely about just like what I think of it. Dude, I'm covering shit as it comes out. It's just, I'm streaming.
I'm sure, Kuihman, you have never poisoned the well. I'm sure you are being completely impartial. I'm sure there's no issues at all in your analysis.
Yeah, I've been really quite fair.
You don't look at logs that are very, very obviously favoring me and say some schizophrenic bullshit. I'm sure.
I mean, you can go watch. You can go. Yeah, show me an example.
You give the accountability of the people who are being fucking psychopaths. I'm sure you do that.
Give me my unironically evil video. Show my horrible coverage that I've done to you, all the slandering I've done. Just show me it, dude, and I'll say sorry, Doomer. Sorry, I was so mean to you in that video. Sorry, I called you DoomerMedia that time.
But you've got
Yo, Beckett with the 5 gifted. Huge. Thank you, Becky, for the 5 gifted membership. Greg Utz, welcome to the Quigler membership program. Welcome. Thank you.
But nothing. You've got nothing. You're just sort of vaguely going to like, yeah, you're just like vaguely gesturing
for a fucking week. You don't have.
You lose. You stole fizzy lifting drinks. You bumped into the ceiling, which now has to be washed and sterilized, so you have nothing.
Anything.
Yeah. Well, I've just explained to my position on each.
How many? Okay, Kuihman, how many things did the people who are fucking with me do wrong? How many times have they lied?
Never. Justice doesn't lie.
Yeah, Greg, join the Discord. You can get the cool cat role as part of your membership, Greg. Don't you want to be part of Queenman's cool cats? Don't think about that too much. Queenman and Greg are close personal friends, to leave him alone.
STV seems to have misrepresented his nature of string or strings lying about it. One of the two
CCC.
So STV shouldn't have got...
STV spoke loosely, is my understanding. STV used language in a way
okay, take it easy. Let's not
easily equivocated by someone with dishonest intentions, and Doomer used that
on public before the date of the fucking original payment plan. And Sunday, I mean, Sunday hates you, but I don't know what he's doing wrong right now.
I don't hate him. I love Doomer. Are you kidding?
Doomer is making me and Sunday some paper this week. I gotta say,
Doomer is a living gold mine.
True, it's Sunday's spitting.
Doomer is a gift.
You didn't catch any inconsistencies, no lies in the video, no problems, nothing that was of poor taste, nothing that shouldn't be leaked or is irrelevant, anything like that?
There was one slip up in the video that I definitely noticed.
Kuihman actually pointed this out to me last night. So apparently, it would have been better form when he said he was worried about his docs, because he was worried about his mother and sister. That it would be good if I had cut those out or censor them or whatever. I personally don't think referring to family members in the abstract is a big deal, but sure, okay. In retrospect, if he had mentioned that, or if somebody had mentioned that, probably would have. I didn't even see it, so maybe we even did censor it and I forgot. Doesn't matter. It's not referring to them by name, etc., etc. The other thing is apparently he's not actually a moderator in JStock's Discord. I was under the impression that he was. Apparently he has a different role. He's like a notable role, but it's potato. The point is he has a role in that server. There was literally nothing stopping him from communicating. In fact, he did communicate with String in passing. He responded to something that he posted in the chat there. So this idea that he had no ability up until 2 days before, there was nothing stopping him from reaching out to String these past 2 years. Nothing at all. And in fact, if we go on to his YouTube channel, what we find is that not only has Doomer Media been producing content for other people for the past 2 years, not for the past 2 years since he came back.
Sunday Doomer content review
for the past year, producing content for himself, and it's terrible. Like, look at this. The best films of all time, an hour and 38 minutes. The top 10 YouTube videos of 2022. Shut up, Mr. Beast. The top 10 YouTube videos of 2023. Like, and why was it on this channel? Well, probably because he didn't want to get called out for producing stuff for himself while he still owed money and he'd ghosted his client. Go here as well. Now we have another one. 7 months ago, the best and worst of romance. Why? Anyways, let's finish this.
Yeah, I won't say it on stream.
Yeah. I don't necessarily think that Doomer wasn't putting main channel content out specifically for that reason. Yeah, I don't believe that.
Just for everyone's sake, but there is definitely one slip up. I don't have anything else. If you've got evidence of something, sure.
I think Doomer probably don't put main channel content out because he was afraid of like the greater scrutiny and just wanted to try stuff out on side channel. That's probably what was more likely going on than him trying to hide from the debt.
I'd love to see it.
Okay, so you can identify one thing that I did wrong 2 years ago, and I think you would agree, reading the STV Philly logs, I made a completely good faith effort to try and resolve it, and there are people who are lying and fucking with me, okay? Why is it that you are so focused on me?
Well, because that's the interesting drama.
Okay, so you're just drama farming. You just don't give a shit.
That's what I stream about, drama, bro.
This was crazy. The silence, man, is just insane. That how long that lasts. Dude, that is just so insane. What did he expect? What did he think?
Drama farming. You just don't give a shit.
That's what I stream about, drama, bro.
Just
it's crazy. How long that silence lasts. Doomer is light Yagami.
The guy who made Vosh is unironically evil. You're just drama farming, dude.
Are you crazy?
I've on J-Stock's stream. That's the show.
That I've made that clear to everybody I can multiple times. I literally talked about it tonight, Kuihman. I said, yeah, Kuihman's just doing this because it's funny and it's like good content, and I have no problem with that. I don't know why people. Yeah, that is what it is.
And it is.
I think Sunday deeply hates you, but what? What? Sorry, what did you say?
Why are you sitting here saying I have nothing?
Who said that?
Because you're spurging out. You're just vaguely gesturing to the idea that I've been schizophrenic about you in my coverage, when it's just not true. You've got no example. You haven't actually said anything.
It's just crazy to me that Doomer behaves this way when he sucks Destiny's cock. And back in the day, how many debates has Destiny won because someone has talked some shit about the way he talks about things on stream or what he believes or the way he bullied someone or something like that, and he says, "Give me an example." And they can't. How many times has that happened? And this guy sucks Destiny's cock, and he didn't come with a single thing to actually fight me on with this? It's so crazy. Yeah, he blew fucking actual Jake out doing that. That was literally that whole debate. I actually watched that earlier because it came on Naughty Play. There's nothing else going on. Happens so often. I'll get like a 6-year-old Destiny debate just on autoplay. But man, remember when this guy made like content that I actually enjoyed? It was Destiny's strongest soldier. Yeah, I think the Jake debate is only a couple years old. Yeah. You're just going, oh, I don't believe this guy. He's a retard. Oh, he said mean things about me. It's just like it's fucking retarded, dude. You're just vaguely gesturing towards this idea that I've said shit.
That's true. The definitive Vosh hit piece. Yes.
About you, you've got nothing. Like I said, you've got nothing.
You have nothing. You were spurging out about something. You can't provide a second thing that I did wrong. You have to do this President Sunday
bullshit. You can't provide a second thing that I did wrong. So it literally contradicts himself straight there. You've got he repeats what I've said, that you like does the know you. It's the know you. This is the mark of someone who's low IQ. When you give them a criticism, they'll mirror you. They'll take like the things that you said and they'll incorporate it into their sentence that they reply with. So he just turns around and he says, "You've got nothing," but immediately contradicts it with that you can't even name a second thing I've done wrong, which means I have got at least one thing. So it's not true that I have nothing. It's crazy. It's just he calls me a retard, but he just like mirrors and doesn't think about what he's saying. Nuts.
You haven't. You have not.
You got the second thing I did wrong. I did provide a second thing you did wrong. You repeatedly.
Okay, guys, we need to settle this. Okay, I'm gonna put a poll up.
It's cuter than Justin Bieber. Okay.
got this detail wrong. Repeatedly got this detail wrong.
It helps me. It makes me look better. It
doesn't necessarily help you. It doesn't. No, it doesn't do. Only by your interpretation. It absolutely does. Only by your interpretation. Only by your interpretation.
First of all, they lied about this. They said there was an outstanding contract. This proves there was not a contract. I was paid an hourly rate. It proves.
Okay. I'm gonna blow your mind, Doomer. Okay. You can contract out for an hourly rate. It's a thing you can do. And incidentally, because you were prepaid, and because you were prepaid based on your estimate, you were contracted for 40 hours of labor. And they calculated the total they were going to give you based on how many hours you said it would take. So that is a lump sum that was calculated by reference to the amount of hours that you thought you were going to do, and they allotted you a certain amount of money per hour to get to that final sum. But this is not the same thing as saying like you're a Walmart employee and that you're only due to work when you're punched in on the clock. And you didn't invoice any of those hours.
Yeah, this is the craziest part, is Doomer sitting there being like, you don't understand contract, you don't understand how any of this works, but he like refused to invoice, didn't record anything, there's no evidence of anything. That you're a 37-year-old man, sort your shit out.
So you can't really claim any of this. Like, you need to demonstrate like that you've actually done that work. And you've shown nothing but bad faith so far, and the fact that you scammed your employer by running with their money reflects very badly on you.
Proves that I did all of the work that I was paid for because I was paid in January and I was still working for them in March, and we had a conversation that implies all of the work for January was done. Otherwise, that...
No, they don't. They have no...
This was nuts too. I got gaslit on this too.
A conversation implying that. I've never seen such a conversation. What is he referring to?
Conversation would make absolutely no fucking sense. So we know there was not an outstanding contract. We know I was paid an hourly rate, and we know I did the work that I was paid for. How does this not make me look better?
Which is the conversation that makes it clear that all the work is done?
The one where I say I'm not going to do the Hassan video and I'm going to keep working on the show.
That doesn't say that anywhere. What? Hang on. Let's...
Okay, you can say it's on string, but the fact is that it means he's got no evidence for his side of the story now, right, Lambda? So the fact he's got no evidence is on him.
See. So he says the treatment's probably today.
It's his actions or lack of action, lack of diligence, that means he cannot vindicate himself now.
That wasn't true, by the way. He sent it out 2 days later. Drafts, I don't know. I'll have something by the weekend for sure, but I'll probably keep working on it. So I haven't heard from you, so just checking in on the ETA for the treatments and the draft script. They didn't receive a script, is my understanding at all. The treatments they received were laughable. Like, I'll show you those in a second.
I wasn't laughing at him.
And after the show is done, I can pay back the rest with interest or something. Which means you don't need to pay me any more for writing work. You've basically got a shitload of my time prepaid. This is right before he ghosted, by the way. So, there's nothing here that indicates that he finished the job. Nothing at all. Why? I don't know why he's such a deranged liar. Like, does this guy, like, not... Is this guy, like, in a mental space where he doesn't realize other people are sentient? Like, he literally thinks that if he just lies, enough people just believe him. Because he's just so charismatic and convincing. I can't comprehend it. Like, this is insane.
That doesn't necessarily make it clear that all the work is done.
Let's bring it up.
Sure, we can, of course. That doesn't make it clear that all the work is done, though. I already know it doesn't.
Can you link that to me, Kuihman, so I can show it on stream?
Sure, let me find it.
Too soon.
What the fuck is Darius doing?
I don't know why you have to overstate
I don't know,
the
Kelly.
nature
Different
of
stream.
Never mind. Don't want to look at that. Nasty. I
don't know why he works with Kelly. Kelly's sole contribution to every single conversation I've seen is... Ugh.
Yo, Sunday, shut the fuck... Sunday. What is he about, Sunday? Do not.
Why are we talking about this? I'd rather drink bleach. Ugh. Oh, this is so boring. Like, you obviously don't like the content you're doing. Do something else, dear God. Don't just exist to derail other people's conversations. Do something useful.
I was,
Sunday. What the fuck, Sunday?
Berging in the chat, so. You gross.
Okay, I'll give you this. It does say final ETA for the treatments.
It doesn't say that, retard. It doesn't say that, retard.
Yeah, you could.
Oh, here. Doomer's
You
giving
misread
me
it, idiot.
So yeah, I'm putting it in the side chat as well. Just oh, there we go.
Haven't heard from you. So just checking in on the ETA for the treatments and the draft script. Treatments probably today. Drafts, I don't know. I'll have something for the weekend for sure. I'll keep working on it, so it's unlikely to be final.
Oh wait. Oh no, it doesn't say final. Okay, so it's not final. And the last handing was on the 18th.
This is on February 18th. So if I open the PayPal thing, let me look here. When is the next PayPal payment that comes through? I had this.
There's no PayPal payment.
No, he's already been prepaid for this work. So he says. So you say here, Doomer, that treatments probably today, drafts. I don't know. I'll have something by the weekend for sure, but I'll probably keep working on it. So it's unlikely to be final. Did you hand anything in past the 18th of February or not?
I mean, I don't remember the exact dates of fucking work.
Well, I remember. Okay, then show me the final thing you handed in. Sure, I can go to Sunday's video right now because
Okay, first of all, you are absolutely okay. You have no fucking idea if what they're showing is everything. You do not have a fucking clue.
You're correct. I don't. But unless there's more evidence, what can I do? I'm analyzing the evidence as it comes. That's my point. Right? Like, okay, so Doomer, I've got this here.
So wait. It's my burden when I have no ability to provide evidence.
It's not your burden. I'm just talking about the evidence.
So it's my burden to provide evidence for my claims, but
I shouldn't have even let him get away with this framing. Yeah, if any positive claim you make, it is your burden to provide the evidence. Yes. Yeah, it is. Yes. If you make if you say I did this work, you should be able to evidence that you did that work. Yes. Like, I shouldn't have let him. I feel like I was being way too nice. I was letting the emotional manipulation get to me a little bit, being like, well, yeah, he doesn't have access to the Discord account, so it's not really fair. But like, no, if you make a positive claim, you have to evidence that claim. Otherwise, just shut the fuck up.
But these people who have all of the evidence, you're willing to give them charitability and assume they have even more evidence that hasn't been shown.
Charity. It's charity. What the fuck is charitability?
It's Sunday 1.
You're selling yourself as a writer, man. Learn English. Charitability.
The conditioning. Stop using Destiny words.
So you say treatments probably today. Drafts, I don't know, something by the weekend for sure. It seems like the final handing we have any evidence of, is on the 18th of February, and it says 3 treatments. Was there a draft also handed in at that point, or was the draft still outstanding?
No fucking idea. How can I check?
I deleted everything after I scammed my client. How can I check? Little old me, how could I possibly know? Like, what do you want, pity? You deleted those, so you couldn't be traced. That's your own fucking problem.
I'll just make it...
Because this was for the second payment.
I'll just make it clear really quickly that the payments, as far as I can tell, are for hours contracted, and the actual work product handed in from those hours contracted is not a part of it.
Sure. I agree.
Yeah, but he didn't give any invoices, so the only evidence we have that he did any work is the product, which is why we're talking about it. If he had, like, hours invoiced, I did research here, writing here, and all I produced were these less than 20 measly papers for almost $2,000, and then when I used additional work in that same thing to pay off a debt of $2,800, I disappeared. That's it. And I'm going to pretend that I did enough work to not just cover what I was paid in advance, close to $2,000. I also did enough work that I'm putting forward like a ton of money towards the other project. Like, it's really obvious that he's just trying to weasel his way out of paying this, which won't help him, by the way, if this goes to small claims court, because what he has here in abundance is evidence of an informal contract. Like, he flat out stole that money. Him saying, "No, Your Honor, it was this is just how YouTube donations work. It's not going to fly." Wait, so not only did Doomer get paid, but he also suggested paying it back with interest, by the way. With interest. By the way, you know how you can tell that Doomer was under the impression that this payment was just a donation that he owes nothing on? He offered to pay it back with interest, because he didn't owe any of it. Because that's what you do when you don't owe money. You owe interest on it. Additionally, like, what is this?
I'll agree with that, but we also don't have an invoice because Doomer didn't invoice, I don't think. So,
there we go. So he's on
I mean, we also can't. There's no hard evidence that Doomer completed all of the work on the show. So his constant claims that is the case, just for the audience.
Exactly, Onyx. The thing about Kelly isn't that she provides nothing of value to conversations. That's fine. You can't just sort of be passively there. It's that she disrupts conversations with exacerbated sighs intentionally to draw attention to herself. But here's the thing. That'd be fine, too, if she was doing anything entertaining or interesting. But she's literally doing nothing.
Jesus.
Just vegetating. It's like,
Jesus.
why?
Sunday.
It's annoying. Life's too short, lady.
Audience here, that was totally untrue. So all the last
people making the claims. If they want to claim,
the evidence they've provided, the evidence they've provided points towards the work being unfinished.
That is not true.
And by the way, I'm speaking as somebody who enjoys Kelly when she's not being a brat. Like Kelly's actually like fun to listen to commentary.
Sunday, what the?
Just like
what is going on?
Or don't, you know?
4 more years.
That's my rant over.
In January, I'm still talking to them in March and working with them in March. What are you talking about?
But the payments weren't for work after they were completed. The payments. You're not still working with them in March. You ghosted them in March, in early March, 5th of March, I believe, or 4th of March, something like that.
Oh, that's interesting, Kuihman. That means I was working with them in March.
Oh, God.
Sunday.
Checkmate. Excuse me, if I ghosted them on March 4th, then wasn't I technically still working with them in March?
Is that... Okay, okay.
Yes!
Again, I just want to point out...
You're having a rough time of it here, man. I don't know what to say.
You're just fucking wrong. You just admitted I was talking to them in March.
Yeah, the 2nd of March or something, 3rd of March, maybe, yeah. It
was the 6th.
Do we have... What are the messages we have there?
Oh, man. We can pull up 3treatments.pdf if... Don't do that.
Was this for the show that you were thinking about, Kuihman?
Yeah.
Do you want to see the work that he published? I'm going to show you, okay? This is what Doomer produced. This is his 3 treatments. This is what you get for the low price of $1,800. All right.
Oh no.
Neighbor.
Are we going to watch Sunday's coverage of this? Should we watch it? I mean, I feel like I should just farm this out, no? We've come this far. Like, what is it, another 22 minutes on this video? We've come this far.
Look at this. This is how long it is. That's it. Look at this thing. It's not even 3 whole pages. And they're spaced.
Groomer Media super chatted $4.99. $4.99 from Groomer Media. I win, they effing lose. That's how the world works. Effing K.
I win, they lose. That's how the world works. So fucking good, man. Thank you, Max, for the $4.99.
They're double spaced. The host and the co-host pick up the producer from under a bridge and hit a deer/moose person, Fred, on the way home. City setting. This leads to everyone being startled, a brief argument about whether they are a deer, person, or both, and then a host/producer leave versus co-host take care of them argument about whether to do anything about them. The co-host was driving and thus has the keys and wins the argument. They're in a waiting room outside the vet comparing Fred to their rival, another animal person.
They're all about dough. All 3 of his show ideas are about dough. They're all about dough. This person occupies... I genuinely... Listen, I think dough's a freak as much as anyone else. Obviously. What else am I going to think of this person? But this person occupies so much mental space in Doomer's head. It's actually insane. You have 3 show treatments about this random deer person on Twitter.
respect either. The producer dislikes Fred but respects their rival, and the co-host respects Fred but dislikes their rival. Fred gets out of treatment and seems amazed at the concept of medicine, then violently resists leaving. Back at the house/studio, they start the show. Their rival got misgendered, called she-her instead of he-him because humans can't tell animal people apart, buying something from an adult pet store, then subsequently went on a rampage and wrecked the store. The host and the co-host begin arguing about whether this was justified, and this devolves into a confused argument about the respectful manner in which to address a dear person. The producer gets Fred to come on the show and discuss it, which leads to an argument that reveals that Fred is a blood relative of the rival. Then I can think of at least 4 endings. 1. Fred gets misgendered by the host, goes on a rampage, and wrecks the studio. Why are you people like this?
Yeah, this is literally worse. This is worse than Lady Ballers. It's crazy.
The host tries to retaliate, and the co-host runs him over with her car to stop him. 1B. I don't know why it's like 1B. There's not... Oh, I guess it's for the... I guess it's because it's episode 1, but there's no... Whatever. 1B, the rival shows up to get Fred, gets misgendered again, wrecks the studio, the host goes over to wreck the rival's house, gets the cops called on him, ends up in a similar situation as the rival. 1C, Fred secretly hates the rival, helps the host to plan revenge against them, which fails. 1D, Fred pretends to hate the rival and uses this to lure the host into a trap. ChatGPT, make me a short story about Doe, a weird person who thinks it is a deer.
Dude, you know what? I want nothing more. I want EFAP to go over all of this. Not the scamming shit, just like the show treatment and the show notes. I would love to see EFAP go over. It would be so funny.
It continues. 2. I love you, dear. Bang for your buck. Is this all just Doe? In the studio, the host and co-host are covering an attempted hate crime where a man failed to kill his wife's deer moose lover because he had bird shot in his shotgun instead of buckshot. The co-host is concerned about the infidelity. The host is concerned with the implications of fucking a deer person. Neither of them seem concerned with attempted murder. This would get you, like, to the counselor's office if you wrote this as a school project. The host makes an insensitive remark about the deer person, which leads to an argument where the co-host offends them and eventually reveals that they're dating a deer person, Jake. The host clearly thinks this is kind of stupid, but doesn't push the matter, and the co-host invites him to join them for dinner. At dinner, Jake shows up with his sister, an absolute smoke show doe. Great channel name, Smoke Show Doe. Named Ashley. All of the host's bigotry falls away as he tries to mac on Ashley.
Oh yeah, I did hear Sunday called me half a Hitler, yeah.
Who isn't interested, and the host's attempts to flatter her only serve to disrupt the co-host's relationship with Jake. Eventually, Jake and Ashley get too annoyed and leave, then reveal that they're getting back together and apparently dated before. Jake makes a loving remark and they leave. The co-host is disgusted and the host retorts, so that's where you draw the line.
So let's calm down on the references, okay? We probably shouldn't. I probably shouldn't have even said it, to be quite honest. I disavow fascism in all its forms. It's disgusting.
Oh, and 3 is just a variation on the first one. This is a variation. This is called Buck Naked. This is a variation on number 1, but the producer is the deer person. The host and the co-host hit the producer, a deer/moose person, on the way home. City setting. This leads to everyone being startled, a brief argument about whether they are a deer person or both, and then a host leave versus co-host take care of them argument about whether to do anything about them. The co-host was driving and thus has the keys and wins the argument. This is the same text. They're in a waiting room outside the vet comparing the producer to their rival and other... No way. They're in a waiting room outside the vet comparing Fred to their rival. They're in a waiting room outside the vet comparing the producer to their rival. This is the same text with minor adjustments. The host doesn't respect either. The co-host respects the producer, but he's plagiarizing himself. The producer gets out treatment. The producer gets out treatment and seems amazed at the concept of medicine, then violently resists leaving. Do you mean gets out of treatment? It just, everyone stay calm. I have treatment. Back at the house studio, they start the show. Their rival got this is the same thing. Cut to the host, co-host driving to drop the producer off where they hit him. Okay, that's different. And it's revealed that the producer used to live at the pet store, which is now destroyed. With nowhere to live, the co-host volunteers the host's house/studio as a temporary home. The host agrees, and the producer announces he shit in the car. $2 for you to put this into an AI detector. You know what, Brooks? You're the expert. You do it. Here, I'll just give it to you. You work your magic. Alright, here we go. Let's do this. We're going to put this through the AI detector. This is a human text. Indeed. Let's do, advanced. Enhanced. No, I gotta pay for that. Never mind. It says it's human. It says it's human, Brooks. You got a better one? We'll see if Brooks turns up something. But I'm pretty sure he wrote this. Because,
I mean, yeah, Doomer wrote this.
What I've seen of Doomer...
AI does write better than this.
This looks like the kind of thing that person would write. What am I reading? That's Doomer's work. That's what he was paid for. God. Yeah, it doesn't read like an AI text. It reads like an idiot text. I think, yeah, exactly. Even if it was AI, I think ChatGPT would disavow it of principle. Bad, not good for business. ChatGPT would have done a better job, and you would have been able to get the updated version for a measly $20 a month. Oh god, he's just silent. I didn't mute it. I pressed play it. He's just silent.
Wait, wasn't Erudite a part of the show?
Your last message was March 6th. Yeah, March 6th. You said ruffle on March 6th.
Ruffle?
Well, I'll play some next time, next week when work is done, and ruffle on March 6th. And then March 5th,
I'm pretty sure
you said Lamau.
Great worker, great worker. Imagine you're employing someone, you're contracting someone, and the sort of message you're getting back are ruffle.
He's pretty sure he's linking his personal DMs. There's a lot of other DMs with other people and DMs in a server. He's just very, very selectively releasing stuff.
Well, what's stopping you then? There's other DMs? Well, then, good. That's great, Doomer. Look, I'm not attached to string. If you got proof that you're innocent, I don't know how on earth you would, since you've directly contradicted yourself and we have direct evidence that you lied. But if there's some magical way that you can escape this, like, I'm curious. I'm deeply curious. More money for me, ultimately. Like, more content for me. I benefit. I benefit from you making an argument in your favor.
Yeah, so this is the thing, right? It's like, Doomer thinks that... Does Doomer think that nobody would cover evidence in his favor if it came out? Obviously I would cover. If Doomer had, like, a good argument and came out with some game-changing evidence, that's great. That's great. That's like another fucking week of the drama. And then we can go at STV and string instead and be like, yo, you sold everyone down the river. You gave misleading evidence. What the fuck? That's a whole nother week of content. It's no skin off my back. Doomer's right. But there's no fucking evidence in his favor.
So it's not a confirmation that March 6th was necessarily the last time.
Okay, so it's gone from all the evidence shows that I completed all my work to.
It does.
Okay, we have Brooks' verdict. It is human. It's just terrible. It's just so bad. It's so bad. It's slowing it down.
Well, they're just selectively releasing. It doesn't.
It doesn't. It does. It absolutely does.
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
But it doesn't. I don't know what to tell you, dude. It just doesn't.
Okay, then you're a fucking retard. I don't like. How do you not understand this? If the January payments for work in January, I'm still working for them in fucking March. What makes you think the fucking work was outstanding?
Okay, Doomer, understand this, right?
This makes me think the work was outstanding, because you're a liar, and your employer says you didn't do the work, and they just paid you because you were taking too long.
You were paid 1st of November for 40 hours work, and that was suggested to be over the course of a month. You were not then paid again until January. So I don't know whether it is the case that you were doing that full 40 hours within 1 month, or is it being stretched out? So you working for them still in February doesn't actually prove to me that the work was all completed and you're waiting for another payment. That actually doesn't show that at all.
Okay, so just to be clear, you're just going to assume that I'm guilty until I have evidence of innocence.
I'm
just going to assume the claims against me are true.
I'm saying that the evidence the evidence does not prove your innocence. You've repeatedly said that the evidence exonerates you. It doesn't. The evidence all verifies my original story.
The evidence conclusively proves your guilt, actually, and that in addition to scamming your client, you also lied after the fact in order to try and scam him further out of money that you owe him already for the Hassan video. You tried to claim that you had paid off $1,000 of work, but according to them, you haven't invoiced anything. According to you, you have no evidence of invoicing anything, and according to them, you came to them asking for more money to finish the original work, which checks out because we have less than 20 pages and not a single one of the projects that were a part of the original commission have been completed. We don't have a complete treatment. We don't have a complete script. Like, none of this is there. And he lied about having any connection with the company. That's not true. He was working with the company to produce these things, what little he did, for the entire time.
Does.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. This is something
I've already identified one way in which it directly contradicts your original story.
Wait.
I've already... Well, you said the payments for work was already done.
Sure.
Yep, there's a direct contradiction in your story. Okay, so now it doesn't make a meaningful difference to your story. A different contradiction. So you want two. So now you want two things you did wrong and two contradictions. Otherwise, it doesn't count. Okay, cool, nice one. I don't know what to tell you, dude. This is insane. You're behaving in an unhinged way. You need to log off.
You've been covering this for a fucking week, acting like a fucking Hitler. And you have one thing that I did wrong.
At all. I haven't acted like a Hitler at all.
That makes
I've actually said many times, Doomer, I've actually said many times with
Hitler, famous.
So everyone keeps mishearing that, or I don't know if it's deliberate or not. But he's not saying I am Hitler. He's saying I was acting like he's a famous painter. He was saying I'm acting like he is like that. But people keep taking it as that I was being that way. What? Okay.
Groomer Media super chatted $1.99. $1.99 from Groomer Media.
Thank you for the $1.99, Max. They just made me. No, I think people misheard it. It's come from that, but people could just be joking. I think people are just someone just misheard it and then spread it there.
Famous for ragging on. No. I'm sorry. Look, Kuihman is like half a Hitler at worst.
Been in your situation where we don't have the money to pay someone back and we act like a pussy and we try to avoid them for a long time. I've said that many times. I've said it's a very human thing to do. It's very normal. Everyone's been there. It's not like the crazy. You shouldn't be cancelled over it. People should just know in case they lend you money in the future. That's all I've been saying. I haven't said anything crazier than that. That's all I've been saying. I say you cry like a bitch as well. And I mean,
I'm sure
the evidence stands.
It does.
I get on stream. I have fun. I make a little bit of money. Of course I'm going to keep covering it. Yeah. Okay. I'll probably post this as a YouTube segment tomorrow.
Okay, so what you think that I did wrong is the original thing we all agree on, and I misremembered one detail that makes no sense. Is there anything else I've done wrong,
Hold on. I'm aware that Bug's taken segments from my stream and put them on your channel. I'm very aware of that, okay?
Bug one.
Oh yeah.
Bug one.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Isn't it kind of it's kind of done now, isn't it?